Okay, let's see. Let's see here. Um, okay, perfect. That's all set up. Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today, this afternoon. Sorry I started a little later than usual. I had a bad night of sleeping, so we are a little behind schedule, but it's no problem whatsoever. Today is actually farming day, so that's definitely what's going to happen today, more or less. I was just like, originally I was gonna play some more Final Fantasy 14 with a friend today, but we were so exhausted from playing 14 so much that we were just like, we need a quick break. So I was like, okay, this is perfect. So regardless, I was like, I gotta stream and do my other stuff regardless. So I was just like, you know what? Let's do some farming. Let's just relax. Have a relaxing, quiet, simple afternoon, the best that we can today. The idea is to finish the spring season, if I recall, because we went into it and we got halfway through, more or less. Where did we start? 249. Okay, we'll look at this one then. So it is spring four for us, and we need to finish the rest of our next 6 days, basically. And with how long it took me last time to start this, I thought, let's do it. It'll be fine. And I think, is it? Yeah, it's first thing in the morning. Okay, perfect. Nope, don't want to talk to the trash can. Time for Mystery Wonders, TV. Oh, it's gonna be cloudy today. Okay, that's all I wanted to find out. All right. Look in the mirror. Let's see what happens. Yep, that shares is it. Don't pop it, liar. Come on, you're better than this. I know you are because you're me. What a weird sentence, regardless. All right, so we don't have any events until the 8th, give or take. Hello, your cute tiny friend. Demon cow. It's more or less the same thing at this point when you're a little cannibalistic, but it's okay. I hope you're having a fantastic day, though. Um, I am just vibing today, more or less. Um, and let's make sure we get some farming done. The one thing I gotta make sure, I want to buy chickens at some point during this stream. Definitely. Mochi's pretty energetic today. All right, thank you, Mochi. And then let's do some milking. Let's get that milk. Okay, Tiny works for me. That's totally okay. Tiny is, I think it's just like a weird thing where I'll be like hi to people when it's like, that's bad milk. Okay, guess I'm not making money today. um, where I just like to, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like to greet people with their full name and then immediately give them a short name afterwards. Um, I think you were here before, if I recall. I want to say, oh, we do have a chicken. What is my chicken's name? I don't remember what your name is, chicken. It's only been a week. Oh, rice cake. That's right. I forgot I gave you some really obscure ass name. But yeah, we're just doing our normal farm chores more or less. Trees are looking good. Water, plants. I should do that regardless, I guess. Watering can. Here we go. Yeah, you've been here about a couple times for sure. I think it's always been like very different games, I would assume, or just like pop in for a second or of the like, if I recall. But yeah, we're just kind of like vibing, hanging out. What am I up to aside from this game and doing my daily farming chores to get married? I'm doing okay. I'm apparently sick, which is unfortunate, but I think it's just like allergies because of a lot of the cleaning happening. There's been a lot of weather issues lately. Like today, for example, it's just been like, getting cold snaps and heat waves and all that stuff like nonstop. And recently, wait, do I have anything in my bag? No, I don't. Okay. I gotta go run and get some flowers. Thank you. I do hope that I get better soon. For sure. I think it's just been like a weird thing with the weather recently around here, and it sucks because like today it's supposed to be like 103 degrees, and I'm like, ah, that's cool. I guess I'm not going anywhere today. But it's not like I plan to go anywhere except for maybe go get groceries, but there's just something about the heat where it just makes everything uncomfortable and my food's going to like melt for sure. Oh yeah, for sure. My voice is like a hot mess right now. Good morning. If you're planting seeds, yep. Okay, I know how to plant seeds. All right, cool. Hi, Matthew. Hey, homie. It's gonna be the best seeds of the year. It's finally getting warmer out. No, I won't buy from you. I'm just gonna go see my future wife if I could find them. Well, actually, I gotta get some more stuff to give them as a gift. Hello, the lone commander. Oh yeah, the heat is awful. It's atrocious. There's supposed to be a big heat wave in California regardless, and anyone on the coastline and inner lands are just like feeling it for sure. This weekend. It's funny because I was actually supposed to see a friend this coming weekend. I have to figure out if I'm going Saturday or Sunday to drive out there, more or less. If we meet, I may recognize you. That is true. You never know. Yes, it is fork time. Hello, Migu, Migi, Migi. I'm trying to think of what's the best short term for that name. Really, really on the coastline. That's good though. Yeah, I know. Like, I have a friend who's okay. So context. There is a big uh convention thing that's happening in Vegas next week for the weekend. It's for Final Fantasy 14. They do it every couple years, and they usually do announcements. People play new raid content over there, and they get prizes and whatnot. Ooh, I got learned mashed potatoes. And so he's flying out to Vegas. From another continent basically because they only have in like three places like the US, somewhere in Europe, and then in Japan, and they're all spread out like maybe like 3 or 4 months apart basically. So currently they are visiting in the city more or less, and I was like, oh yeah, I should come drive out there so we can go hang out and shit. And Oh, cutscene time. But while I finish this story real quick, basically, I was supposed to go see him, and I thought I had more time to go see him because I thought the idea was that he was going to be flying to Vegas, and then he was coming to the city like after the trip. But it's like, oh no, he's like, yeah, I guess he changed flights or something. So he's here this week, and then the convention's next week. So I'm like, ah, shit. But I'm hoping, if anything, I could go see him for like a day or so and be like, hey, nice to meet you and all that stuff. Because, when you meet people in game, and then I'm going to be gone at the end of August to see some friends in another state that I've met through like writing and drawing and all that stuff. And I'm super excited since we're going to a different anime convention for that. Oh, yeah, the weather is awful for sure. Well, hey, if it ain't Lyre, let's see, who's talking to me? Oh, hey, girly. Hello, farmer girl. Been settling in okay? Yeah, of course. Very much so. Glad to hear it, but you've never worked on a farm before, right? That's gotta be tough. If you ever find yourself in trouble, I'd be happy to lend a hand. And for anyone who has not been in my story of season stream from last week, sorry I missed that first VOD, so I don't know if that's ever gonna pop back on my YouTube stream or whatever. Oh yeah, she is very buff. She is basically the farmer of this particular plots and all that stuff. And she runs the place with her brother and another girl who's like one of the bachelorettes. But I don't know if like they're all related in some way, or she's just, or the bachelorette is just like, oh yes, we can hang out. Oh, let me go tell my brother Matt to pitch in too. I've been teaching him the ins and outs of agriculture, so I hope you'll let us help you out. Get it? Haha. Oh no, the puns, they're awful. It's terrible indeed. Hey Matt, come here. He's so grumpy. What? I'm busy. It can wait. Just come here. That face. Ugh. And he's also a bachelor that you get to. Apparently, they're all different ages and varying. Here's the deal, little bro. If Lyre is ever in a bind, you be sure to give him your full support, alright? What? Why? Because the valley's a hopping place with Lyre around. It is a mix of a romance game and also farming. The funny thing is that the romance part is very important this first, like, 40 days of you playing. So each season is 10 days, so you have enough time to like go do things and all that stuff. You go bed early, just do your farming, whatever. But you have to get married your first year, otherwise the game will end, and there'll be in the old versions. This is like the third or fourth remake, more or less. They had it originally on the GameCube, and then it was originally under Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life, and then licensing and localization team got weird with their copyright names back in I want to say about 2012 or 13. The new company was like, oh, we want to do a different localization team, and they're like, well, you can't. So they switched to story seasons, but still there's same good content for farming games. Anyways, though, yes, so you have to get married the first year. In the old games, they would force, like, be like, hey, you can marry so and so. And it's like, okay. And if you chose not to, then the game would end and you would have to start over. Or hopefully, from your last save, you are able to woo someone enough for them to pick you as a marriage candidate. Or be like, hey, I see what you're doing. You want to get married? And then you have kids, and it's a whole thing, but it's mostly just the farming aspects. It's just interesting that they integrate so much family life into it. If they ended up packing their bags and leaving because they couldn't hack it, it'd be a crying shame. Hoppin', I guess I've seen more people wandering around, maybe. And you live in a very small village known as Forgotten Valley. That's like miles and miles, like hours away from like the closest city, more or less, that you used to live from. Ugh, there you go. If your prickly pear act again. And you can tell this woman is like trying to get you married to both, her bachelor, her son, and all that stuff. So basically, get married or bye bye. Yeah, oh yeah, very much so. Whoa, wait, just a god darn second. There's something I forgot to take care of. Afraid it's real urgent, so I gotta make a fruit tree and leave. Huh? Sorry, the couldn't run, Lyre. If you excuse me. Oh yeah, it's crazy. I'll count on you, Matt. But hey, wait. Sorry about Vesta. She's not exactly the best listener. Yeah, it's fine. Well, I'm glad it doesn't bother you. Like he's like Sebastian in a way from was it Stardew Valley, but he's more like agricultural. He's just like he doesn't know how to talk to people and he's super awkward. We'll kind of meet people as we go throughout the town. Or at least I'll show people while we're on stream today. Anyways, what's up? Are you having trouble with your crops? Need any help? And she's just like, "What? I just got called over." Oh, good, good. He's terrible at this. Well, I got work to do, so bye. Well, you could be a male or female in this game, and then you can pick your pronouns like he, she, they, thems, and all that stuff, which isn't too bad. Let's see, who is in here? Ah, yeah, so this is the girl I'm trying to marry. Her name is Celia. And she's like one of the easiest people to like get married because it's like you can give her anything, and she's just like, perfect. Oh yeah, for sure. I totally understand that. There's a couple sundaries in this valley for sure. Hi there and welcome. Festa puts more love and care in our crops than anyone I know. That's why all our produce tastes so good. That aside, do you want to purchase anything from today? I'll look. I don't think I can though. Or if I do, I don't think I have. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. I already got my fruit trees. Oh, that reminds me. I actually need fertilizer. I looked up this trick because I was like, how do you grow grass again? And they're like, oh yeah, you need to buy fertilizer and sprinkle it in your fields. 10 will cost? Yep, that's fine. Oh, so here's the funny thing. Uh, Cecilia was always my first choice when it came to wives when I first started. Like they make them all so fucking cute. All the women are cute in this game. Even like the MILFs, it's like damn. There's like maybe one or two MILFs, give or take. It's just like they all have different personality and their own spunky, spry little way. Oh, here is two other bachelors we could go see right now just to say hello. This is Gustavus. He is basically he is hipster number one, who's like a musician and stuff, and he just kind of hangs out. And he used, so the funny thing is that these are remakes in the sense that they also changed the original designs of the game. Oh, and this is another bachelor. His name is Gordy, if I recall, and he is supposed to be a sculpture artist who works on metal related sculptures. All focuses on my art. Yeah, he's kind of weird sometimes, but I think it's more the way where in the original he was just like a grumpy old buff man. And then this one, they're just like, ah, yes, here's his sculptures. He lives in this little like RV hut thing, that's basically planted in the middle of the valley, more or less. I suck a gar. Oh yeah. I'm just like trying to figure it out. There's a crazy scientist who lives here. There's some folks that live in this inn. I have a personal save file where I am dating the traveling girl that comes from here. She's a little bit more tomboyish. Hi, girl. Thank you for stopping by. This is like their inn. This is her husband, and they have a white son. Or I guess he's not supposed to look white. I think it's like he's supposed to look like this more like Polynesian aspects, but he is more of a player type. He's got blonde hair that looks like they're like dyed and all that stuff. Hey kid, what's up? Hey you. Yes. That's Chris. She's a very nice mom. Oh yeah, the games are so good sometimes. Sometimes you just hang out, you vibe. I feel like there are so many different renditions of farming games out there these days, and it's just like, I want to have them all so badly. Oh yeah, this is Grandma Nina, with her husband over there, Gary. They're like the cutest little couple ever. Why, hello there. This is time of year always reminds me of when my husband and I first moved here. Flowers were just as beautiful back then too. It's so cute because, oops, their hat is like a fucking ladybug. So I'm like, I know her. It's like I love her so much. She's so adorable. Oh yeah, yeah, no worries. Yes, the remake is very generic. Like there has been no big changes since when this originally came out in I want to say 2003 or 2004. It was like one of those games that popped up on the GameCube, and they were kind of what's the word I'm thinking of? It was very it's very different than what it was back in the day. Like they made two separate games for being a male and female character, and it was like one of the first times where they're like, "Oh yeah, you could be a male or female character," because originally you would just be a straight up man and just marry all the bachelorettes. So it's just like, I see. And then recently they're like, oh, you can be a man or female in like the remakes, and then they're like, oh, you can marry the man or woman. Uh, it's just like that's cool. It's like finally you're giving me options. Oh yeah, that's the local homeless man. His name's Pui. Oh yeah, so this is Rock. He is the other bachelor or last bachelor, more or less. There's four bachelors and four bachelorettes. Yeah, you could tell like not much has really changed for their characterizations and personalities. The only thing they really changed was just like, oh, their outfits and their designs. It's like, okay, that's cool, I guess. Let's see, who else can I introduce us to? Oh, Nami's out in the forest. I guess I'll go back there. It's not like I really need to do anything today since all my crops are watered. Um, and it's one of those games where it's just like, you're kind of doing your own thing. The funny thing is that in the original of this, you would go through different stages of life. You'd get old, you would have a kid, your kid would grow up, and your husband or wife would get old too. So this is Nami. She's very much of a tomboyish esque, and she was always the hardest one to marry back in the day because she would like only like three things to like get her experiences up. I guess they're kind of getting with the times, but there's still very big stereotypes all along. Yeah, they made her very tomboyish. They're like, oh, here's some short hair. She's a redhead. She's got those khakis and shit. Could you quiet down? Oh yeah, and I will say it's fun with the fact that you can influence your child's future career as what they do when they grow up by depending on who they interact with in the town and like whichever husband or wife you pick up. But I've always loved the wives more than the husbands because they looked better. I guess is the best way to say that really. They just look cuter and more fun and it's not like I was like, ah, yes, I want to marry a man. And this might explain a lot about my sexuality now. It's like, oh, my gay awakening was like, I don't know, 20 years ago or whatever. I don't know. Ah, Lyre, good day. And this is the third Bachelorette. It's funny because she wasn't in the original, but then they aged her up later on, being like, "Oh yes, you could totally marry her," and she looks like she's like barely 18 years old, to be honest. You don't even know how old you are. You just like exist and just live in the void that is called the world, I guess. It's very odd. It was just it was very weird at the time too because it's like you saw she was like she looked like a teenager and she always did. Ah yes, and this is our fourth bachelorette, Muffy. Originally she was called Muffy, but then they changed her name to Molly, and she's very much a Southern belle that lived in the city, and she's like she's not like Haley, where she's actually like super nice, but she still is like, oh, I'm fashionable and farm work is gives me a little stress, but yeah. Oh yeah, I would love to have a harem. It's God. I would want to harem all the people because there's another game I want to play on here eventually, but I don't know how long that would take me. That one was called Friends of Mineral Town, and that one they did the same thing where you can be a male or female. You can marry the bachelors and bachelorettes, but all the women are cute, and like all the men, it's like, they're okay. It's just like, let me marry them all, please. I'm begging. So it's always that thing where it's like because it takes such a long time, it takes me even longer to decide, oh, which one will be um my future marriage candidate or whoever I want to marry and all that stuff. Oh yeah, and this is our dog. His name is Lyre. Oh yes, that's right. I forgot that's what your name was. I have so many different save files that I'm just like, I'll get around to it eventually. Harem is life. Funny thing. Speaking of harems, this is a very quick story. So I was joining random discords. This was about a couple years ago, give or take. I was just like, I got excited because there's Nitro, you can have different emotes and all that stuff and use them across all the servers. So I was like, okay, I gotta join like all the servers. And one of the servers I happened to weirdly join, I don't know why, was I think it's a Yandere server. I know it's very fun because I was like the farthest thing from a yandere, but I was like, yes, I need to talk about my love lives, which is like all my weeaboo waifus and husbandos and all that stuff. And I had made one comment in there during my time, and it was like, oh, I forgot how it got brought up, but it was just like I was just talking about stuff casually because it was a very boring server regardless. Then and it was just like I'm here for the modes only. They had some weird like shrimp ones and all that stuff. I'm like, ah, yeah, shrimp. That's totally a yandere thing. But I had made a comment, something about like, oh, I can't decide which one is my waifu and all that stuff. or who's my husband though, because I have so many different favorites. And they got really offended and upset, being like, bro, you can't be here and talk like that. You have to like, have a single specific person or we gotta kick you. I'm like, what the fuck? It was so weird. I guess it was like one of those things where it's like, first off, you don't have to do that. But it was just very bizarre in its own way. I was just like, okay. I mean, just let me enjoy my harems and all that stuff instead of being like, I'm going to kill whoever says that this is their waifu. It's like, that's not how that works. All right, please give me eggs. Yes. Let me pick up the egg. No, damn it. Damn it. Chicken, rice cake. Stop it. Let me pick up the egg. There we go. Oh shit, I left my cow outside. Oh, fuck. I don't think my cow's happy with me. Hi, Mochi. I'm sorry that I left you outside. I didn't mean to. Wait, let me brush you. I love you. Okay, Mochi's doing fine. I think I'll be okay for the day. All right, so you can grow grass, and it's nice because growing grass out here means that the animals can actually eat. Uh, right? Yandere obsessive trait. It was insane. I was like, I can't believe you guys are saying that you're gonna kick me because I made one comment saying like I can't decide. It was wild. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm just here for the mode, so I'm just gonna go. All right, let me grab a flower so I'll give it to my future wife. And I feel like I don't know. I think it's one of those things where I'm just like, I was like, whoa, people taking the internet too seriously. And I was like, I gotta go. But yeah, basically there's not really a whole lot you could do in these games except for just running around, go collect your stuff, your items out in the field, water your plants, try to woo a lady and all that. And it's funny because I've never had any other oh, ma'am, please. Why is everyone inside? Oh Jesus. Oh God, I'm stuck. Yeah, this game still has very much GameCube controls sometimes. It's just like, it's horrible. Hi there, welcome. Oh, why, that's a delightful. It's all yours. Take my plant. You really mean it? You're too kind, Lyre. I'll take very good care of it. Perfect. Thank you. That aside, did you want to purchase anything? Not today. I mean, I could, but I'm like, I already got all that for a laser back home, so I gotta take a slow roll for a second. Oh, oop. Be happy Yandres usually kill, not kick. Oh, I know, right? But I feel like they would kill if I said like, "Oh, I'm in love with this character." And they're like, "That's my woman, bitch, or my husband." Like that's how that like I don't want to be stereotypical, but that's definitely how it felt. I was just like, you guys need to touch some grass for sure." And this was back in 2020, if I recall, 2020, 2021. So it's been a couple years for sure since that like whole minor incident. I just thought it was so silly. I'm just like, you guys take yourself a little too seriously. But maybe it's just be like that. Oh yeah, GameCube um is like a mixed bag of emotions. Just like it's good and bad at the same time. Just like, this is terrible. And it's funny. So this is actually out on PC, which is how I'm playing it now. So it's like Steam and all that. It's also on the Nintendo Switch. I think it's also on like GameCube, not GameCube. Um, the PlayStation. I don't know if it's on PS5 or PS4, and then like the Xbox Series. I was just like, oh, what a weird, rambunctious little set of everything that they just threw it on. It's funny because like originally porting to other consoles was like non-existent in the day for these type of games. It'd be like it's on one system and one system only because that's how they had it. So it's like if they want to be like, here's a new rendition of it, it's like, yeah, good luck. It'll be like a brand new game by like the next console. The big ones I remember, you should see if they're still there. Oh, I know, right? Oop, two people. But I don't know. It's a wild time for sure. And these little guys were absolutely useless in the original games. They'd be like, "Oh, you could just go talk to them," and that was it. And they didn't do anything. They just lived in their house forever. But this time they're like, "Oh yes, we could teach you how to cook." But the biggest thing I want to do, if I wait, uh, oh, did I not milk the cow? No, I could swear I milked the cow. Oh no, I did. That's right. Oh, I forget where I was going with this. um, right. So, porting of these particular games, it'd be like, I guess we could start making two versions of the game for the GameCube or whatever thing it was on, because everyone was like, "Oh yes, there's options." I don't think they started doing the male and female version of games, at least as far as I know, until the a later GameCube edition, or if it was on the Wii, and that one was called Magical Melody. They look at like fairies and elves back, but they're always burdens. Oh yeah, for sure. They always looked like little pixies and burdens, and well, I guess they didn't look like burdens; they were burdens. But there was just so much in the day, and it's funny because originally, because I have a capture card for consoles and stuff, at least for older things, I actually wanted to play Sonic Adventure, and Sonic Adventure 2 on the original Dreamcast, but I just haven't been like, I have my setup properly and all that stuff on my desk. I'm just like, everything's a hot mess right now because I was in the middle of trying to do con prep, and then all my machines were like fucked up and broken. So I was like, okay, I guess that's not working. Because outside of streaming, I've been trying to do artwork and stuff, but it's usually just random stuff. It's just like, oh, here's some stickers from this video game, or here's some art, or here's some what's the other one? Like plushies and stuff that I've made. But when it comes to like everything in and outside of it, it was just like it's been hot summer, so I've been just like lazy and putting everything off. Maybe I should try milking the cow again. No, I already milked you then. Okay, then I am a liar. I'm sorry, cow. I didn't mean to harass you. I will say, outside of the janky controls for what it originally was, it feels a lot jankier on a keyboard because they don't teach you like, oh, use this button to press this and all that stuff. Like you were just thrown into it. It's just like, oh yes, good luck, have fun trying to figure out how to use the tools and all that stuff. So I'm like, oh no. And that's Mr. Turtle. Whenever there are animals around certain bodies of water in this game, they are considered lucky signs for your fishing, which I think is kind of cool. I didn't realize that was like a big thing before because I thought they were just like here to hang out. I didn't realize it was just like, oh yes, you could get big fish or a little fish or just more fish in frequencies for the day or something like that. There is, let's see, if I remember the four or five animals, there is this turtle guy, there's a tiny chihuahua, a raccoon, a lizard. Is that three or four? I don't remember if I'm listing all of them. And then there's like a big furry like yeti creature that shows up in the winter time. I don't know why he stretches his neck out like that, like multiple times. It's kind of freaking me out. It's like, sir, please. But it's also very much a game of its time where it's like, oh, here's some silly events or stereotypical aspects of a person and what they are like and all of that. It's funny because like when you think about it, it's like they could have done better. They could have like remade the game entirely from the ground up, or in this case, they usually just make new games from the series whatsoever. But I think it's just these particular ones, they're just like, oh, we gotta do true to the original classic. And I'm just like, good for you, but there's still a lot of stereotypes in it for sure. Like, the other game I want to play, which is the Friends of Mineral Town version, um, there is a character who I think is the only dark skinned character in the game. And he usually shows up during the summertime, more or less, because it's like, oh, it's nice and hot. And he runs a snack shack on the beach where you go like get things and all that stuff. And there was a case where it's like if you didn't marry certain bachelors and bachelorettes in that game, then you would have rivals who would go and date them or get married to them and all that stuff you that you're on. It's funny because I never got to that part because I'd be like year six on my Game Boy Advance and being like, I got the farm money, but I don't have a wife or a husband. So it's like I broke my game because the one person I wanted to marry, um, he's just forever stuck in this weird loop where he's like, "Oh, sorry, I don't feel comfortable accepting your blue feather," which is like a marriage proposal type ring in these games, more or less. And it's just broken. So I'm like, well, can't do anything about that. It is a fun game. The downside, though, is that it is a game where they charge it by regular prices right now. So I think this was like 40 or $50 on Steam. And then they have DLC, which is basically like for $3 or whatever more. It's just like, oh, here's some extra costumes for your person to dress up in. Which, I mean, they're cute-ish, but like you could get outfits later on in the game, and it's not like you're stuck with these options forever because you could go change at any time and all that nonsense. But if I recall, Story Seasons is run by the publisher, or I think it's publisher Marvelous. And then I don't have any issues with the Harvest Moon games. Okay, well, that's a lie. I've had issues with the Harvest Moon games ever since the localization team was like, oh no, we're gonna keep the title so we can keep being a cash cow and all that stuff. And it's funny because there's one game that came out maybe this last year. I would have to look up what the actual name is of that Harvest Moon game. And people are like actually saying like diehard fans of the originals and the remakes and all this stuff. They said that this goes back to the actual roots and they actually have been doing good. It's not like they've never done good. It's just that it didn't have the same heart and soul and they were trying to do a lot of different like farm-based games on like even mobile games and they just the artwork looked bad and it was a hot mess. Like people have still opinions to these fucking like things to this day. It's kind of like when people are like, "Oh, are you a what am I thinking? Like a PlayStation or an Xbox fanboy and leaving Nintendo out in the dust entirely." It's like being a hardcore fan in that manner, which I think is so dumb when the whole point is just you get to play as a silly little farmer man who gets to hang out and just enjoy themselves. There are other versions of the older Harvest Moon games I want to play, but they were on very specific consoles and you never hear about them because they didn't get a lot of marketing or publicity compared to like literally every other game franchise out there. Like if you talk about like Zelda and Mario and Pokemon and I don't know, Call of Duty, FIFA, WWE games. Yes, I am new to streaming. I started actually a couple of months ago, and so I started back in March or April of this year, and then I had to take a big break from May to June because my original computer, which I was streaming off of, was a really like a 6 or 7 year old gaming laptop, and that like died on me completely. It was just like, oh, everything was clocked at like 100% for my GPU and CPU. So I'd again new PC, started back up slowly, and it's like I've only been trying to do like 2 or 3 days a week, give or take, because one, I have family members who work from home, so I try to not be super loud because I can get so damn loud when I'm talking, even if it's just like chatting with friends and all that stuff. It's just like I don't know how to control my inside voice ever. So it's really bad. Oops. Oh yeah, the biases are so dumb for sure. But I've been trying to get back into it regularly, although it's just been hard. I think it's just the fact that it's not like I was pushing myself every single day to run like 8 hour streams or anything crazy like that. It was more the fact that I think because I was in a rhythm, and then it immediately got cut short, and then during that month long waiting for the new computer parts and everything to come in, just to get a new PC running. Um, Although technically I had to get it a whole new thing from the scratch entirely. And it was like I sat around because, you know, I'm already depressed as it is, as a normal person, any person on the planet, I guess. And it was kind of thing where it's like, well, I want to play this game, but I can't, or I want to do this or that, and I can't without like doing anything. Like I would try to use the old laptop, but it was crashing. It was just I couldn't even do like a YouTube video without like my screen monitor like fucking up. It was just like, okay, I guess I'm just not gonna use this then. And it's like I gave myself the weirdest gaming detox that entire month because as much as I have my Switch or a Switch and I could have played on like a different console or I don't know, hell, even a mobile phone, I guess. It turned into one of those things where I was just like, oh, um, I don't know if it's the depression creeping in, where it's like, oh, you don't have to do anything, you just hang out. But it was kind of, it was just very hard to be like, okay, I gotta sit down for hours on end to play a game and be entertaining, either on stream or just hang out with friends and all this stuff. So it's been a very slow process this last couple weeks, give or take, in trying to just get my ass to sit down in this chair and record or do anything remotely productive. Like, hell, there's been artwork that I've been trying to work on, just off of my free time and personal stuff. And I've been just like, I don't feel like doing it today. And I think it was just the struggle of just trying to get the setup to work and then being like, oh, I have to relearn everything, or I lost all these assets or these brushes, and it was just a hot mess, and it just took a lot of energy on my own behalf to like tell myself like as much as I could just give up right here and then. I don't want to because then it's just like telling myself like, oh, I spent way too much money on getting a new computer so I could do both gaming and streaming and all the stuff that I need to do to I don't want to say survive, just like just get through my day more or less basically and be like, "Oh yes, well, I got to do it. I have to make it work. I have to make it count." Oh, okay, cow. Get back inside. Release back into the barn. Same with you, chicken. But I'm glad I'm getting back into it. It was kind of weird this last week or so. Oh, another egg. Okay, cool. I'll take it. Let me. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this game is still stupid when it comes to certain things. It's just like, I can't pick it up if I'm holding something already. It's like, shut the fuck up. Let me just hold it. But I'm glad I'm getting back into it because I think it's just like the repetition and normalcy of it all. It's just like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. It's just like a vibe. I can hang out. Ah, yes, and this is TV episode time. And hello, thank you, Lone Commander, for that follow. Uh, I'm glad that you're enjoying it for sure. And this is silly TV time. There's like little channels that change every day too. So this is like
soap opera stuff, and they're usually like 2 or 3 episodes long. Summer's Love was basically the first episode is that you're a high school student named Summer or whatever her name is, and she actually runs into a boy, and his name is Achilles Tendon, but they call him Ace for short. At least from what I remember from last time. And they usually like rerun the same episodes. So it's like, oh yes, you can catch it if you missed it or whatever. But it's usually like after like a couple of times because there's so many different programs. They have like 4 or 5 different like shows as they call them. Achilles, the transfer student. That boy I bumped into, Achilles Tendon, or well, Ace for short. He's a transfer student, and he's in my class. Oh yeah, she was like yelling at him, and she was like like saying I'm not in the wrong. She was very caring attitude. It's been only a week since he's arrived, but he's popular enough to have his own fan club, the Achilles Tenders. Ugh. Oh, I hate that name. I've never watched a second episode of this before. Hey, Summer, lend me your textbook, would ya? And just why should I do that? Well, Summer, why don't you just simmer down? You could tell there was very much some early 2000 vibes to this. It's like, oh, Mean Girls in high school. This is just what he's like every time he sees me. It's making him want to wring his beautiful neck. Oh, yes, you also think he's handsome. But I don't know if this is the same pictures or not. It's very silly. Seriously, he's way too buddy-buddy. It's like we barely know each other, dude. And now all his admirers keep giving me the stink eye. By the way, wanna hang out after school? I know a place. Huh? You can hear my heartbeat echo throughout the classroom. If my incredibly loud scream didn't drown it out. What kind of place? Don't worry about it. Come on, it'll be fun. But will it? Find out next time on Summer's Love. Yeah, the episodes are atrocious like this. There's the Summer's Love, which I think is like 3 or 4 episodes, and then the next one, if I recall from my personal playthrough, is like it goes to hello, a scene. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. So the other one is basically like it's a science expedition and people going to other worlds. It's funny because every episode that whole thing is like we never speak of what we saw on that world. It's like, bro. Oh yeah. So Takakuro over here, he is our father's old friend who runs this farm and like helps like advise you and all that stuff. Since he was like, oh yeah, if you want to come live on the farm, come on down. Lyre, we need to talk about your shipments. No, no, no! Bad dog! And she's freaked out by dogs, apparently. It's very cringy for the early 2000s. It's so funny. It's like, ah, you can tell what they're pointing this towards. Oh, Lyre, your dog scared me half to death barking like that all of a sudden. I'm sorry, I entered its territory? What in the world does that mean? Girl, are you a dog whisperer? Excuse me, it marks its territory how? And old man's like, what the fuck? It's so funny. He's just like, I gotta go. Oh dear, I'm sorry, I interrupted that conversation, did I? I think I've made him angry. He's always angry? Well, that's dreadful. uh, you aren't hurt, aren't you? I guess. Sure. I'm fine, thank you. I'm a real animal lover, you know. I'm a farm lover too. I've got to head home, but maybe you can show me around next time. Yeah, sure. Really? Oh my, I'd love that. Thank you. Anyways, I'd better be off. And she fucking saunters off in her fucking pumps in the goddamn dirt. See you too soon, sweetheart. Oh yeah, so this is like some of the few quests. They're usually very silly in the beginning where it's like, here's a cutscene and blah blah blah. But then they get like hysterical. It's like, why? Why is this a thing? There's something about it where it's just like, it's one of those games where you could tell it's a thing of the past. And it's fine because people will like rave about it. Like I'll talk about it where there's definitely good and bad things. Like I don't want to die at the end of the game at the end of the game, but apparently I do. Oh, howdy, happy anglers! We got Skylar's dad, River, here, the sheriff fish report. Anything biting out there? River? Everything all right? Oh yeah, the strut is a lot. Whoo, buddy. It's more than alright. We got char, masu trout, sweet fish, cherry salmon, you name it, I've caught it. These fish must be hungry because they're biting the second I get the line in. Haha. Oh, I'm using worms and salmon roe, if you're wondering. The wild monkeys and bears were really interested in those, so I lent them some too. Never seen wild animals happier. Between you and me, I'm better than Skylar when it comes to angling out in the wild. Ha ha ha. Glad to hear it, River. Thank you for your report, and thank you, dear audience, for tuning in. And the funny thing too is that this is the original art style they use for the game. It's just like, oh, buffed up and all this stuff. It's just like, ah, those flat colors, those lines, those very random clips, animation gifs. But yeah, all this is more or less the same uh, stuff that they had back then. It's just like, oh yes, let's make it look pretty for, um, the times. Day 6. Wow, it's been very slow and grinding through these days. All right. Oh, cool. Our apple trees are sprouting over here. Nice. Oh, I should check if there's an egg inside here. Nope. I think I gotta talk to my chicken outside. Yeah, I'll still be going for definitely 10 more minutes. But yeah, get back soon. Don't stress about. I'll be vibing for a while. I would assume. Let's see. Oh, I gotta water these watermelon plants. Let's see. Ba ba ba. Oops. Oh, here we go. Aromatic herbs. Let's go. Oh, and I gotta bring the cows outside. Shit. Oh. Mm, here we go. Oh, yep. Let them out. Get that milk. I will say it's weird that this is RNG. With the fact that my milk in my last game was like perfectly fine. Milk looks healthy and content. Use, use, use. Ma'am, please. Alright, be back soon. Alright, awesome. Oh, come on. Okay, now where's the chicken? Here's the chicken. Hello, rice cake. Let me snuggle into your ass. Perfect. I'll put you in the field for now. I will say it's nice to know that the what's the word I'm thinking of? The chickens give eggs twice a day too. Nope. Okay. Cute aromatic herbs. I really should do something with that milk. Oh, right. I gotta go to the let's see. Oops. Mochi's doing fine. Let's use this bag. Oop. Oh, that grass grows fucking fast. Jesus. Okay. Oh, still bad milk. Okay. Well, let's go to see our little fairy friends. Check on them. Oops. How do I? Oh, here we go. I think it's so funny because I love Poo Poo or Poi. What's your name? Poi. The weather's growing so much warmer. Yes. Yes, you are, little homeless man. I love your little flower hat. When you're just existing and vibing. Hello, fairy friends. Give me your recipes. What is today's recipe? Please. Enter. Oh, let me teach you something. It's a recipe humans should know. Earth soup. Okay. Cool. I should go and make money today. Or not make money, but yeah, I should probably go to the archaeology dig site at some point. I'll be fine. See, what do I have in my pocket? I have milk. Okay. That should be fine. Ah, Matthew, do you like milk? I'll give you some milk too. Why not? Cute. Oh, sir, will you take the milk as a gift? Hey, I'm guessing that's from your farm. Why are you sharing? Yeah, all yours. Wow. I mean, thanks. I hope even if it's a bad grade, you still love it. Okay, let's see. Wife, hello. Is everything all right? I'm just here to chat. Hi there and welcome. What delicious looking milk. Is that courtesy of Campbell Farm Herd? I like to say herd. Like, I'm one person, ma'am. It's interesting that she won't take the milk, though. She really just like, I'll take the vegetables and flowers. Which, I don't have a problem with that. If I can do that, just pick up some weeds off the ground, I will make my wife happy. Which is a weird thing to say. It's like, oh yes, I gave you this weed honey, instant 10 like points or whatever it may be. Okay. Is everything all right? Here to chat. Here's this flower. It's all yours. Real meat, you're too kind. I'll take good care of it. All right, perfect. All right, bye, girl. Small pot berry. I feel heart about them. Oh, right. Handmade chest of drawers. Enter, exit. Oh, okay. Tiny potted plant is well kept. And I think the fun thing is that you can check it. I know there's a friendship meter in this game, but like you can also be like invade their privacy and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go check out your rooms. Affection, 2 hearts. Molly has 3. Damn, that's wild. You think it would be easier to get hearts for these girls? Like, come on. Okay, well, we'll see what happens. I wonder if there's another way aside from just giving her herbs that can raise her heart rate up. I think she loves vegetables the most because she's a little goober like that. That sounds about right, if anything. All right. Oh, milk and fish. I could do the fish one. Okay. I don't know about the milk one though. I'm a little sad that I've been getting shitty milk from my cow, but maybe it'll be okay. Okay. Maybe it's because my cow hasn't been eating. That'd be really bad if that's the case. It's like, how am I supposed to get my missions done? Oh, cool. An egg. I'll take it. Thank you. Whoop. Damn it. They really say you don't want C rank. At least, if anything, I could sell all that normal milk tomorrow to the van. And that should at least help. Okay. Okay. Oh, why did I put these flowers back? There we go. Perfect. Okay, let's do some fishing. Actually, no, let's go to the archaeology dig site so I could just do that now. This is crazy. Like, I've been waiting for this game for like 6 months, and I've played this game maybe 3 or 4 times since it's come out. And that sounds bad. And it kind of is, but I don't know if it's just the fact where I've just been like still getting into things or what's going on, but I've just been like, let's see what happens. All right, give me the shovel. Whoop. Ma'am, please. Let me just dig. I mean, if I really get sad, I could just start giving stuff to Nami if I want to marry her. But we'll see what happens. I will say this is probably the most boring part of the stream, where it's like, watch me dig and dig for like 5 minutes straight. It's just like, ah, yes, this is so exciting. Oh, there we go. Come on. Come on the ground, little thing. Oh, it's a little clay man. Okay, perfect. I can't believe it's only been an hour. There's something about these Harvest Moon streams where it takes me a billion days just to get through like a couple days. It's not like I hate it. I'm just like, ah, God, why does it take forever? But oh well. I mean, sometimes it just be like that, I think. Let's see. Um, Sorry, I'm checking some diabetes related things real quick. I was just like trying to make sure my blood sugar's okay. Let me dig, sir. Carter, please. I just want to dig. Sensor expires in 6. Okay. I should change it after I finish the stream, actually. Whenever that be today. Yeah. I think if I'm still like super exhausted tomorrow, tomorrow's gonna be a very mellow like drawing stream, which I don't mind. Like I'd be down for that because I need to work on drawing anyways. I think the funniest thing is that my mom, nice woman, tolerates most of my bullshit when it comes to certain shenanigans and stuff that I do. Um, she is probably one of my biggest supporters when it comes to art. It's funny because for the longest time she wasn't, but I think it was just the fact that I had chosen to do art for my degree in college, basically. And it was the fact that I didn't have that self confidence back then, or what I felt like was the smartest aspects in my life where I was just very. I was bad at math. I was bad at history. I didn't have any like future life pursuits, and it was one of those things where it was picking a degree was just stressful, and school in general was always a stressful, horrible time for me. And even like when it came to like, oh, sir, please move. I need to. God, these fucking GameCube mechanics. I swear. Oh, come on, you two, get out of the way. Back to my story though. We had some arguments in regards to my degree, of course, because you know you had to be very convincing and be like, do you really want to do this for your degree for 4 or 5 years or however long it takes for you to finish college? And I was like, yes. And it's like, okay. And uh, SF State was very much known as one of those things. Oh boy, what is this? Ultra Osos here. A distraction is something that turns your attention away from something you want to concentrate on. I feel like this is getting to be a distraction from what I really want to do. Total concentration is required for no distraction, symptoms, disturbance, interference, division, and more symptoms of distraction. What the fuck is this? What is this? I don't know what this means. What is happening? I'm like, hello? Carter, damn it, man, move! Yes, you did distract me. I think it was more like very much confusion more than distraction, I gotta feel. Not gonna be honest. Oh, God. The point of my story is that my mom is very supportive when it comes to my art stuff, but at the same time, we get mad and butt heads because my procrastinative, depressive brain is like, hey, let's not work on it today. And it's not helpful when I need to prepare for like conventions and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, oh, I could just draw some silly stuff and do that. And it's not even good silly stuff, or what's the word I'm looking for? The art is okay for what I'm at. And it's just one of those things where it's just, you know, it is what it is. Oh yes, very much. I don't know why that's so weird. But yeah, it was just one of those things where she's just like, "Oh, you should be working on your stuff for your con since I actually have a con I'm going to the beginning of September." And I keep putting the stuff off. I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it." And then it's like, "Oh, I'm playing video games instead or I'm hanging out with friends." And by hanging out, I mean like because of our time zone stuff, it's like, "Oh, I'm playing games with them." It's like, "All right, cool." But that's like I'm just enjoying myself, but at the same time, I know I'm being bad and being like, I'm not doing supporting myself and everything. Hello, Seabay. Welcome to the stream. We're running around talking about mild family stuff, which is really more like me being a procrastinator and being slightly disappointing. It's like, you could do this, but you don't. And where the fuck is my? Oh, there's my cow. Hi. He got really scared. Well, she's in pretty good mood. Will you let me have milk, please? Actually, let me just check my little. I don't want to marry Molly, but I feel like if I just have the most hearts of her, I might just marry her. It's a bummer. I could secretly cheat on my wife. Okay, no. Okay. Not ready for milking. Okay, that's fine. Where was I going with my story though? Nope, don't remember. It's okay. I mean, it's just the fact that I've been procrastinating and I'm like, oh, I'll do this, I'll do that. And then my mom's like, why haven't you worked on your stuff? It's like, I'm going with you to this convention for 3 days. So you better have some damn products to sell and stuff. I'm like, all right, all right. Because where we're going is basically so I kind of live kind of in the middle of nowhere, California, more or less. So the biggest city is like a couple hours away, or luckily, the one we're going to for the convention is like at least an hour away. So it's kind of that thing where it's like, okay, we have to drive back every single day because I don't have the funds to afford a hotel at the moment, even though I could be like, hey, mom, pay for it. But that's just fucked up and horrible. Asking your parents, be like, hey, can you come table with me for 8 to 10 hours? And then I'm gonna ask you to spend money. Like, no, that's horrible. So we're driving back and forth every day. So it's like roughly 2 hours on the road, both ways, basically. And I love her and I don't want to cause her too much strife and grief. But at the same time, I'm worried already that because it's a bigger convention, that, I might not be able to sell my stuff. But it's more the fact that, you know, specific people have, they have their likes and interests. And I always worry that it's always going to be like a very niche thing. Oh, I know. Everything sounds like a very long drive after like a couple of hours, which is very funny. But I think I'm just so used to it because everything in California is like traffic hour unless you're on the freeway. So it's like, yes. Then it'll still take like roughly an hour to travel like 40 or 50 minutes, give or take, as you go 90 miles per hour or whatever it may be. But I don't know. I it's just funny because I'm just more confident with like trying to make stuff on my own, but at the same time I'm like, I also want to do a manufacturer and all that stuff too. And hello, welcome back, Lone Commander. We're just talking about convention stuff since I've been procrastinating, of course. Um, but I don't know. I just hope that I can get my ass in gear, which I really should. It'd be funny. I thought about doing like streaming while I'm working on stuff, but recently I've been just like, I'm gonna procrastinate and do whatever I want. So it's been like games or drawing silly random things that I don't want to sell. It's just like, oh, here's some pretty fish or some fancy little art looking things, and oh, I gotta put my animals inside, right? I gotta do that. And it's just my mom thinks that because so I'm a big Kingdom Hearts fan. Like I won't say like crazy over the top like I'm fighting with people being like actually the lore is this. Like I will play the games, I will try and understand the lore with my homies and friends and then be very confused because then it means nothing like 2 or 3 years later whenever there's another goddamn mobile game. But it's one of those things where I did little bundle baskets of plushy palpu fruits that I made. And they were a big hit at the last two conventions I was at. And my mom was like surprised. She's like, people buy this shit? She's like, she doesn't understand like the significance, which is understandable. Chemist has a huge queue. Oh, that sounds horrible. Like in all ways, it's like, why? There are queues everywhere. But I think I put everything inside. Yeah, I did. But it's just so funny when it's like, oh yes, here's this really niche thing, and the craziest thing is that you could tell when people have their little what's the word I'm thinking of? Their niche interests, like oh, there's Kirby, there's Zelda related things, and all this stuff. And apparently, uh, even though people fucking rant and rave about Kingdom Hearts on the internet and all that stuff and all that, there are still people in the world that are like, oh, I've never heard of this game. It's like, what's that about and all that stuff. And it's crazy. I have to be like an anime adventure boy hanging out with Disney characters. And it's just, the little fruit is just like, intertwined destinies and all that crap as to what the game is mostly about. And yeah, procrastinating would help sometimes, but I've been procrastinating for months. Like my new products that I wanted to bring in because I didn't want to do the stars anymore because apparently me making a star-shaped thing is apparently one of the dumbest and hardest things for me because I'm just like sewing it on my machine and with the different parts of it, it's just my machine can't handle it sometimes and I was getting stuck and I was just very frustrated and I was like, I gotta fix my machine and then I want to do a different project. So I picked the fuzziest thing ever to like get fabric for and be like, I'm gonna make some like dino chicken nuggets and all that stuff. I also made some cryptid nuggets, which are at the moment it's just one shape because it's easy. It's just a round log oval shaped thing with legs. So it's just like Fresno Nightcrawler chicken nugget in like different sizes. Yeah, the lore for Kingdom Hearts is very, very confusing. I actually plan on playing those games in the future on different streams. I just don't know when because it's a very what's the word I'm thinking of? It's a heavy story, and I'd love to play all the games, but the game I hate the most is like the second game in the series, more or less, which they changed the mechanics completely because they're like back in the day I was like, oh, it's on the Game Boy, that's cool, and then they remade it for PlayStation 2 or 3 at the time, with 3D graphics and cutscenes and all that and voice acting, and it was just you can't turn a 2D game into a 3D game with those type of mechanics where you're fighting with like cards. It's like you swing and you use a card. And it's like a counting thing and all that shit. It's horrible. I feel like if anything, I would play it for a little bit just to show you like why I don't like the game, but that'd be it. Uh, Yeah, the lore is very confusing, and they'll add things like 10 years later, like, oh, here's some more new lore, or all this other stuff, or here's this character, and they're a backstabber, or this and that, and then they made a fucking movie. Actually, they made two movies, realistically. They made a movie remake of a game that was on what am I thinking? The Nintendo DS. And then they made a movie relating to events that happened like who knows how many hundreds of thousands of years beforehand. It's very odd. Yeah, there's like two movies. They're like, oh, here's some movies on the. What am I thinking? It's the PlayStation version of the games. It's like Kingdom Hearts 2.8, whatever they call it. Like Kingdom Hearts is so stupid when it comes to their naming mechanisms of like their 30 plus games. And the only reason there's so many is because they do the original one. So there's like, let's say for the first game, it's called Kingdom Hearts, okay? And then they made a Kingdom Hearts final mix, which was that some of the designs for the monsters were different. There were different boss battles added in, secret cutscenes, and like some other secret hidden treasures and future things relating to future story things. It's like if you did like proud or hard mode, expert difficulty basically, you would see a cutscene at the end of the game after you completed it and all this stuff. Yeah, exactly. It gets so convoluted. Like, hold on. Let me actually bring up Google real quick and show you guys the Kingdom Hearts timeline. And me just showing you this shit is gonna make no sense because it's atrocious. Okay, let's see. Um, yeah, that's actually a pretty good timeline to be honest. Oh no, this is like the biggest picture ever. Hold on. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. This is the silliest thing I've ever done. Oh my god. Okay, so this is from Polygon. Oh, close that. All the Kingdom Hearts backstory you need to fully understand Kingdom Hearts 3. So this is from before the third game came out like 4 years ago at this point. And so here is the timeline. I don't know if you guys can actually read or see this or anything. So these first three games over here in this like green font or whatever, uh, this first one right here is the movie that they made back in like 2018, 2017, which I think is insane. And you can only access this movie if you had bought the game. Yeah, game. Oh, the game is blocking. Oh shit. Hold on. Let me transition. Sorry. I forgot the transition. I was like, oops. Yes. So these first three games over here are like these are related to the mobile and PC games that they had only in Japan until maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe more now because it's been a very long time since some of these have ended. So this first one in the timeline is considered the movie that was relate that you could only get in the game purchase. I'll show you guys the different game cartridges afterwards. This one called Kingdom Hearts X, or as they pronounce it as Key or Chi, I guess is the pronunciation. Uh, this was a this was a PC game that was only exclusive to Japan for like a couple years. This was like in 2010, 2014, give or take. Oh yeah, not on the screen for sure. Yeah, this is the insane timeline of all the games, but then they don't mention, oh, here's the multiple different final cuts and all this stuff, which adds like extra lore or some shit like that, some stupid movie. So this was a PC game in Japan for a couple of years, and then that story finished, and then they made this game called Union Cross. I know they go from Union Key or Key over here to Union Cross instead of just Union Key over here, which is fucking ridiculous. And what they did for the worldwide audience after the PC version ended of just this first part of chapter, they combined these two and made this into the mobile game, which is called Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. And the crazy thing is that for many, many years, this was the game that people played for like the first 2 or 3 years because it was like, oh, we're gonna take this sprites, just import it, everyone plays it. And it's just like they would release new patches for the story a couple months at a time, give or take. So it'd be like, oh, here's 50 chapters and all this stuff. It ended at like a really weird number. It was like 600 or 700 chapters at the very end. And that even ended maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. And then so this is the first part. It was like talking about the Keyblade Wars and all that shit back in the day. And then this is after the Keyblade Wars. Like exactly, the story gets very confusing and weird. So like, oh, here's a continuation, but with brand new characters. And the fun thing about these two ones, or this Chi or Key and Cross, is that you would be able to make your own player, like Keyblade wielder kid or player that you could like play and you fight the game and all this stuff. And they put it was a really dumb mechanics all together, but the story got more convoluted here because they kept adding more lore here. And this game, by the way, finished or didn't finish until Kingdom Hearts 3 came out in 2019. Oh yeah, I know. The fucking wheel and loading. I understand that completely. So these games came out about 2010, 2015 ish, 2016. This movie came out after these games were introduced. They're like, "Oh, we're going to give you a little chapter into some important characters that you won't see for a very long time." This one right here, Birth by Sleep, this is supposed to be like what happened uh, thousands of years or hundreds of years after these first three events. So like these kind of happen like around the same time, give or take. It's like the movie comes out first, being like, oh, this is what's happening with these important like leader characters. This is what's happening to your character as you're working for these leader characters. And then Union Cross is like what happens to your character after the leaders disappear and there's a big war that breaks out and all that shit. And then thousands of years pass. Birth by Sleep appears, and this came out in 20. No, this came out in 2007. 2007, 2008, if I recall. And this was released on the PSP. This one I played on the PSP, but I never finished because you try playing on PSP, it's horrible. It's ridiculous. It's just atrocious. So, so it's like so if we talk about the canonical games that came out, Kingdom Hearts in the middle right here came out first, right? Did they understand their own story? After 20 plus years, I don't know. I think last year was its 20th anniversary, if I recall. It like came out in 2002. Yeah, there was a PSP game. So Birth by Sleep came out on the PSP. Um, this point two one came out in 2018. They're like, oh, here's some random miscellaneous story shit. Like they just kept throwing more story and story and not making these consistent. That was the thing that made everyone upset and crazy and being like, this is too confusing to follow. That's exactly why the lore is so confusing. So the original Kingdom Hearts, this came out in 2022. Yeah, 2022, 2021, something like that on the PS2. Chain of Memories. This is the game I despise playing on the PlayStation remakes because of the 3D aspects and the battle system together. This came out on the Game Boy Advance, so it's like the little like short cartridges and all that stuff. And how it was played was that it was a pixel game. Like it was like all pixel art and everything, and it was a 2D flat screen, so it's a side scroller basically. This came out 2000. Let's say 2003 or 2004. Because then, like 2 years later, about 2005, 2006, Kingdom Hearts 2 comes out, and this comes out on the PlayStation 2. So it's like if you didn't play or have all the consoles, like if you didn't have a Game Boy Advance, this story, which is also considered super important to the lore, you'd be like jumping into Kingdom Hearts 2 and be like, who the fuck is this character? What is happening? What is going on? And Kingdom Hearts 2 ends. Kingdom Hearts Coded, this has come out as two different things. This came out as originally a Japan only mobile game, and it was a mobile game on a flip phone, which is kind of crazy. This came out like right after Kingdom Hearts 2, so maybe like a year or so, give or take. And that was like updates like once every 2 or 3 months, and there was like 5 chapters and all this shit. It was a mixed game, but apparently there are still phones out there that people have. Like, if you're an avid collector or whatever of the series, people were able to find phones on eBay and all that stuff like Japanese Nokia's and all that shit, where it still has this game and you can still play it, which I think is baffling and crazy. They remade this game for the Nintendo DS uh, many years later, about like 2011, 2012. Oh yeah, it really did stay at the same console, and I think it did. Like it was crazy. It was like all these little tiny important games like Chain of Memories, Coded, Dream Distance, and 358/2 Days. and Birth by Sleep and all these point twos and all that shit, they always put them on very obscure consoles. It was like they always put them on the handhelds, which I never understood. Like I get it, it's like it's a pocket adventure, but this is why people are like, oh, why don't I just play Kingdom Hearts 2, and then jump to 3? Because you can't do that apparently. There were all these other games where it's like they would introduce all these characters or plot points where it would make no sense because it jumped all over the place no matter where you were in the story. And I was like, oh, here's a new mechanic, or who's this new fucking character I've never seen before. Like it was exactly that. And there were they made the game so weirdly complicated for some of them that it's like, oh, here's a secret ending. And it was dumb because back in the day they were like, if you want to access a sneak peek of a secret trailer or a secret cutscene, you had to play on extreme proud mode, which was like, like the hardest of the hard. And it would always be like the monsters would hit harder and you would fucking die in like 2 or 3 hits if you got like hit really bad. Oh yeah, buying games for phones remind me of like Flappy Bird. It's crazy. The funny thing though is that all these colored ones over here before these like green teal ones, you had to buy these, of course. Um, like individually on different consoles. These green ones, like Kingdom Hearts back cover, Key, and Union Cross, these were free mobile games. Or I guess the movie wasn't free because they had to buy it with a package bundle or whatever they did later on in the future for PlayStation. But it was like it was only PlayStation exclusive until Kingdom Hearts 3 came around, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna make these bundle deals for Xbox." And then for fucking Steam, it was not Steam, PC. You could only buy it on the Epic Game Store. Oh yeah, a super genius would definitely get lost in this. I still don't understand the story because I'm not super extreme in it, but I have a rough idea of like some of the more recent stuff that's happened rather than the older stuff. Like I'm not like digging in the code trying to look for specific answers and oh this weapon relates to this character because of this and this and this. It's like yeah, I'm not a bitch that's gonna do that crazy shit for sure. So I'll just give a rough recap, basically, if I can, of these. And the funny thing is that, so 3582, they introduced these new characters that related to this Chain of Memories incident and Kingdom Hearts. So they're like, oh yeah, here's a point where this character is introduced because a big event happens here. So it's like, okay, they start the game, quote unquote, so many days back. And then they're like, oh, here's some flashbacks, and here's some events that happened during this time too with another game. Like, it's just so much information. It's just like, it's a lot when there's like 20 different characters. And the joke is that you will have 5 characters in a line. They all look very different, and they'll be like, oh, this is the same person. But if you go to another line of characters, they'll be like, oh, they're different people, but they all connect to this one person. Like it's just like everything is about destiny and connections and friendship is my power and all that craziness, and it's crazy. It's insane. So while we're looking at Kingdom Hearts stuff, let's look at oh yeah, so here's another timeline thing too. That kind of gives an explanation with the original covers of the game. If I can zoom this up. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. So, Kingdom Hearts over here in the bottom left corner. That came out 2002. Chain of Memories, the original Game Boy Advance one came out 2003, 2004. The remake came out 2012, 2013. Kingdom Hearts 2, the original came out 2006, 2005. This remake came out 2000 I want to say 2012, 2011, 2012. This might have actually come out later, to be honest. This one up here, this Dream Drop Distance one with the fucking Mickey Mouse flying on the cover and all that shit. This came out 2012 or 13. There was something about these where like the recoded came out first, And then immediately right after, they also dropped this one because they're like, oh yeah, they're all connected. Even though this one relates to like what happened from Kingdom Hearts 2 and then jumping straight into this new game. It's like, oh, they had to give a reason for one of these cutscenes that happened at the end of the game, which is fucking stupid. And then this one up here, this came out 2009 or 2010. These like basically came out the same fucking year. It felt like because there was a PSP and then Nintendo DS. And they were just like, oh, here's some more lore, even though we're not going to tell you what it is on the timeline and you got to figure it out yourself. And it was just it was a lot. It's so much. Okay. And then we'll go to I know this is getting absolutely crazy and convoluted at this point. Kingdom Hearts bundles. Okay. Okay, yeah. So here's the silly thing. So when I was talking about 2.8, I wasn't fucking lying. I've always wanted to play Kingdom Hearts one day, but this timeline makes me kind of not want to anymore. I feel like if you don't care about the story and you just want a game, it's all right. The thing though is that it's so hella janky. Like it's definitely janky where it's like it definitely has those PlayStation 2 bugs and graphic or not the graphics but more the bugs of like how it moves and you can tell it's a game from 2002 even if it looks like all nice and pretty. So, Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 and 2.5 remix I don't know why it says cloud version. Oh, this is because like a year or two ago they released it onto the Nintendo Switch, and they said you can we won't give you physical copies of this game. We're literally just gonna give you yeah, like you have to play on the cloud, so you have to have fucking internet connection. Everyone hates playing the Switch version, basically, because you could be like in the middle of a cutscene or a fight, and it gets hella laggy and slow. So you can imagine like all the players playing all at once on the place on the Nintendo Switch. Like everyone was very upset. But okay, so these first four squares here is basically what they included in this first 1.5, 2.5. Where the point fives was because these were the buffed remakes where they're like, oh, we're gonna give you all these extra cutscenes. This one right here was just like, oh, here's a movie because we're not gonna remake that game, even though it was on the Nintendo 3DS or whatever, and it was a hot mess. Compulsive Hell and Story, 100% games. Oh yeah, the 100% scene part. People do it all the time. Like I find it crazy. I'm just like, let me just play the story, fight monsters, and enjoy my day. Um, so yeah, if I think about it, there are actually three movies that they did. They turned the Game Boy, Nintendo DS game into a movie, and it's like it's okay, but you lose a lot of information and story and characterizations that they bring in with certain characters in this game where it's like, oh, it gets lost in translation because they're like, oh, here's funny gimmicks and stuff. And I think people hated that it was just a movie for this one. And it was like 2 hours long. Like you could pause and come back to it, but it was just too long. Um, this one, which, hold on, let me think. I don't know. It's hard to remember which packs had which. That's the hard thing. So if I recall, this had all of this. Like I think they basically cut this in half, and then Kingdom Hearts 3 was on its own. But oh god, every time I talk about Kingdom Hearts, it drives me crazy because there's just so much, and I know my friends would be like, "Yeah, it's insane." But basically every game that exists here, except for like this last one over here, they all had some type of remake. They're just like, oh, here's a remake, here's a remake, here's a remake. Even Kingdom Hearts 3 itself, people were upset because how it ended should have just been left like that. Like they didn't have to be like, oh, stay tuned for next game. But oh no, like a couple months after the Kingdom Hearts 3 had released in 2019, they're like, oh, by the way, there's gonna be DLC. And we're like, what do you mean there's DLC? And everyone was confused and excited because, the screenshots were basically there's this big final fight and there's different characters involved. And they're like, oh, you can play as your favorites. but it was like you only play your favorites and get a couple of little extra cutscenes. And then there's like one big fight, then there's like ultimate, like extreme fighting old bosses, and then more little cutscenes. Like it was stupid. And they were like, "This is your extra DLC, which you paid more money for." I think it was like $20 or $30. Like it was ridiculously expensive for like nothing. I still haven't even played the DLC, and it was just like, "Oh yeah, here's your DLC." I'm like, "What the fuck?" And they released that a year after the game came out, so you can imagine everyone blowing their brains out at the same time because there's 2020 happening. Oh yeah, make sure to save this section for future questions. Right? It's insane. Oh god. This was a game where they're like, "Oh, what happened to so and so?" And this was just more like this was a 2-hour game. Like this was a hella short game, which was useless in the timeline. Here's a movie, here's a movie, and then here's another movie. So they were like, let's take all the redundant games where it's just like filler, or what the creators call as filler, and be like, oh, it's not important enough to like make us a new game. We're just gonna slap a movie over it. And it was horrible. I was like, why would you do that? It's like, why go through all that effort to make me pay for multiple movies and different games where it's like, okay, I get it, but it's like I don't know. Sometimes every day I feel like a sucker when I get into the Kingdom Hearts series because I'm like, I feel like I've been suckered into so many different things. It's it's a lot. It's definitely a lot for sure. I feel like this definitely needs to save as a highlight as my insane person trying to talk to people. Like this story has got so convoluted, and it doesn't even include the fact that they, in between them making let me see, Union Cross, which was the little whatchamacallit game where they're like, oh yeah, here's the, like, this is the artwork. Like it was all pixelated. The crazy thing is that big props to the animators for this mobile game because there was like two people that ended up being on the team at the very end. And we're like, I'm sorry, there's like two people work on this game for 6 years. Holy shit. Like it was insane. And then before this game had even finished, they're like, "Oh, by the way, we're updating it and we're adding news story relating to the past of like the evil villains and his best friend who is also in the story too." It's just like, "What the fuck? What do you mean you're adding more story?" And it just gets weird and convoluted. And they're like, "Ah, here's some characters, here's some silly dudes, and all that stuff." And they just, I don't know. I felt like the story was redundant because all you're telling us is that here's some more characters, but at the same time, it just it's a lot. It's a lot. Like where I forgot where I was going with this whole thing. Oh my god. Yeah, it's so much information. It's like when it comes to the mobile games, thank God there are people invested in the series because uh there are people who have like massive videos. There were, whenever a big patch of story content would come out, people would literally be up on midnight and streaming on YouTube with all the nonsense, playing their Japanese version mobile phone with their data and all this stuff and blasting through that stuff because they know the community is niche enough that they're like, we want to know what's going on, and not everyone is gonna go out of their way to play these mobile games for sure. It's like the story is interesting and captivating, but the aspects altogether were not enough to save the game entirely. Like for these ones, it's just like it needed to end. This was just so long. It's like too far out of the way. And even this one, I was like, this is stupid and redundant. It's like, why did you take 2 or 3 plus years to finish this mobile game, which is supposed to be a short story thing? But it's like, oh right, there's only a couple people animating this thing, so it's just, I always have big props for animators and all this stuff. Oh, okay. So this went to 870 plus chapters. Yeah. And each chapter, not all chapters. So I don't know how to explain the Union Cross thing, to be honest. So they would say each little slot, so you would be fighting someone or having some type of cutscene, right? But each little thing counted as a little square on this long line of timelines and all shit. And this combined both Key and Union Cross because it was just like they're both back to back basically. It was just like, oh, there's a quick time jump of like a couple days or something like that. But regardless, it was just a lot. I'm talking so much. And this is giving me an upset stomach ache just thinking about it. uh, actually, hold on. Oh, good. I'm still paused here in the game. Cool. I was just making sure real quick. But yeah, this game is a lot. Like, or the series in general feels like a lot, and it's very much hard for people who are interested in the series to get into it. And I've known people where they're like, "Oh, I'm so into the series," and it's like they only played like the last game, which was Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh wait, there's actually one game I have not mentioned in this timeline stuff whatsoever because people think it's um, they think the game is redundant because there was literally like 10 or 15 minutes of like new cutscenes that relate to the actual plot. Everything else was just like flashbacks. And that is the rhythm game that came out on the Switch and PlayStation. And I think also Xbox. I just know it didn't come out on Steam whatsoever. And that is Melody of Memory. We're not going to get too big into this one, but basically, the idea is that after the events of Kingdom Hearts 3, um, there's some scientist friends that are helping our homie here. Her name is Kyrie. We'll definitely get more into this the more that the Kingdom Hearts series jumps into it, but it's just they just turned her into a main character, but it was literally a rhythm game where you're playing as other people. There was multiplayer, which I think is dumb because it was just like, oh, you're just fighting to get the highest score. And it wasn't like real story. It was just like, oh, you have to get a high enough score, you have to complete the levels and do your little rhythm thing and all shit. And then there was like 20 minutes of cutscenes at the very end. Oh yeah, they've done everything. It was so funny because for the longest time, everyone joked like, "Oh, the next game's gonna be a rhythm game," and sure enough, it's a fucking rhythm game. And people have mixed feelings about this because there are they reuse soundtrack for certain areas in the game, and they decided in this rhythm game, or this is my biggest grip with it at least, is that they decide, oh, we're gonna take this one area that's actually super important to like all the worlds and lore and all that shit, and we're gonna have you make you listen to that music at least 4 or 5 different times and play through all the levels 5 or 4 different times. It's like the only thing I would change is like maybe it's orchestra. The orchestra is like, oh, it's more acoustic or I don't know, a fucking bongo or some shit like that. Like it was just like there'd be very small tweaks in in those particular songs that they decide, oh, we're gonna make it appear in this game 4 to 5 times for you to play, and you're like, I hate this. I hate everyone in relate to this game. And then they're like, oh yeah, here's some quick flashbacks just so you're caught up, even though it doesn't cover the entire like story. There's like, here's a quick flashback of what she knows and then they're like, here's 20 minutes of content. And everyone was very upset. I think people expected more from the game and not just here's a flashback and a silly little rhythm game. Which I mean, if you like rhythm games, sure. You go for it. But like it's just silly that they thought, "Oh yeah, we're going to cramp all the important lore and be like, here's a very loosely crappily done recap." And introduce you to characters you have like never seen before because they're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot, guys. It's so much. My favorite part is when I'm gonna get um I don't know if there's still copyright strikes on Kingdom Hearts content on Twitch, which is the funniest thing. And the only reason I say that is because every time I watch someone who's like for the first time or playing it again in like a very long time to show for streamers, um, what the game's about is that there's certain parts of the music where they have to cut it down because of like, oh, copyright strike or something like that. I'm just like, I don't care about making money, and also I'm not making money at all because I'm not even like affiliate or partner or whatever. So I'm just like, you know what? I'll risk it. I'll risk it. Oh yeah, your brains would explode. I think I love some of the plots, the twists they have for sure, but like absorbing it as a whole is a lot. And it's a lot for one person, and I'm just like, how do these people come with it? And the original producer and designer is Nomura, who we all know was also helping on other projects like yeah, Tetsuya Nomura. Like he's also worked on like uh, Final Fantasy VII, basically. And he originally was just the character designer, and then he was able to do the reboot as well. I'm like, oh no, don't do the reboot. He's done. Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Oh, my eyes are blind because of this fucking screen. Yeah, he's working on the remake and rebirth, co-directing them and all this stuff. Like he's led development on Kingdom Hearts since 2022, and it still doesn't make sense to me. It's the same man. He's like 50 something at this point. Yeah, he's 52 years old. Like it's insane. And I just there's a lot. It's just like I've played Kingdom Hearts or technically Kingdom Hearts has been in my life ever since it came out. The to how old I was, let's see, 9 years old, give or take, in 2022. And the reason we found it in the first place was through fucking Blockbuster. Like it was just like, oh, it's a shiny cover because you know all the tinfoil and all that shit they used on it. It's like, oh, it's a shiny cover. Let's play this weird game. We never got past the beginning section of the game because TVs and everything back then, it was just so everything was dark. So it was really hard to play when there's a dark scene and like regular common things. Do I plan to become affiliate or partner? I'll be able to support you when you play. Thank you. Monthly. I would like to say two things to that. One, thank you for wanting to support me. First off, although I feel like I'm just a rambling hot mess 90% of the time with crazy things like that. Um, I've been trying to slowly work towards it. It's just been kind of one of those weird things where because of my weird schedules and I play such obscure or a variety of content that sorry, excuse me, that it's hard for me to meet some of those touch goals, which is mostly the ones where it's like I'm slowly working on the was it like get 50 followers, streaming multiple times a day. The hours and multiple times a day is probably the easiest for me because like you do it within the monthly period or whatever hell they say it is. And then the other one is just viewership in the comments, which I think has to range like an average of like 3 viewers over the span of the hours in the monthly or something like that. And it's just that part itself is probably the hardest goal for me to reach because I don't think I'm an interesting person. I feel very boring if I had to be honest. And it's just one of those crazy things where it's just like I feel like it'll be one of those things where it's a very slow grind. And I know recently there's a lot of issues with Twitch the last couple months. Like I know when I was taking my break because the computer had broke, there was like all those weird new things happening with Twitch where they're like, "Oh, we're taking more money from the affiliates and the uh, people that are partnered on our channels." And yeah, so I was like, people were losing money. They were making all these weird changes. So there was that weird thing where people were doing that weird exodus where they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to a different platform." Like everyone was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to." Well, there was the weird one that was like the gambling one. I can't remember what it's called, like Kick or something. I don't think it's. I don't think it's Kick. It's some other, that other streaming platform I can't think of that people are like, they're kind of like, well, sus in so many different areas. And then people wanting to go to YouTube. The funny thing with YouTube, though, is I could go on YouTube, but I've heard so many people say that YouTube viewership is really hard for live streaming for some weird reason, unless you're like super credible and you're posting daily or doing your videos and all that stuff, which is crazy. I can help with that. Honestly, I enjoy it, and I have a couple of friends I can bring along in the future. That's very appreciated too. It's very appreciated. Yeah, the requirements are very odd for sure. Yeah, I do. I always ramble about really weird shit. I know that there was topics I wanted to ramble about the other day, last week, for example. But even then, I was like, I forgot. I just forgot to do it entirely because I'm just super excited playing the different games and all that stuff. On my YouTube channel recently, which I haven't updated since the new computer because I lost my VODs and had to save some of them, like some of the ones I haven't put up there yet on like a Google Drive for, of all things. Oh yeah, YouTube streaming is still bugged to hell, I assume. Very much so. Like even when I go watch other streams from like, oh, here's a grand opening for I don't know. What am I thinking? World premieres for like Nintendo Presents or Final Fantasy 14 or literally any of the E3 and summer game things that happened last month. It was just everything was buggy. It was like slow or way off on this device or 20 seconds ahead on this device. It was just very weird. But yeah, I don't know. I stream so obscure stuff that's not mainstream, and I don't mind that at the same time. I'm just doing my own thing. I'm just hanging out. Oh, hi, cat. I haven't seen you today. Give you the scratches. But I think the biggest thing is that I feel more like the content viewer, where it's like, I didn't want to save up my VODs at first. And then I was like, I guess I should because, it's just, you know, it's there for the people. It's there for folks who just hang out and vibe. And, it's not going to hurt anyone if I made a YouTube channel for it. Although it took me days to figure it out because I was like, oh, I'm trying to connect it to this email. And then YouTube's like, no, you can't do that. You already have one. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know what that password is. It was just so bad. Cat hat. Ugh. Puh. Why is it flying everywhere? Yes, my cat, her name is Pecan. She is 6 years old. She's a calico I rescued back in 2018, yeah. And originally her name was Calypso, and she was just like one of those cats where they keep them in the box in like the shelter where it's like, oh yeah, this is the box area for like all the cats that are like antisocial and don't get along with other cats. I'm like, okay. And it's fine because originally I was looking at other cats and I was like, oh, she looks fine. I was like, I don't know what her story is, but she looks fine. I love her. Oh yeah, I think it's the fact that it's like there's so much of a performance when it comes to streaming. I think just watching different streamers over time and kind of gain like not even just a gauge of who they are. It's like there's different types of entertainment out there. There's like people who would like to be like the a gamer type, or they're just chilling, vibing, or they have other hobbies that they're known popular for. Like there's cosplayers and all that stuff that do streaming and stuff. And it's like, oh, their big thing is streaming, but they're also like, I love video games, so I'm gonna do this too. Or there was also, I don't know if this is still a true thing. There was a porn star who also did streaming. This I remember from like a couple years ago. I can't remember what her name is for the life of me. But she's like, oh yeah, I'm doing streaming now and all this stuff. I'm like, I've never seen anything from her since. I don't know if she still does it, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head of like obscurity when it comes to like what's your niche. For me, I'm just like, I couldn't make money from Twitch, but I'm not racing to the top anytime soon because I'm just here. I'm just vibing. I just want to play my games and I just, you know, I need to just talk and just get out there and be a crazy person in my own little weird world of just like, oh yes, let's do this or that or whatever. Although it's like my biggest things are probably just like gaming and doing art. And even the art's not great. Like I think the art's on my own side is okay, but I feel like the biggest parts is just like just being me instead of trying to be a performative. And I will be real and be like, I don't want to be friends with everyone. I don't. I feel like I'm in this point in my life where I'm tired of having friends. Or I don't want to deal with the craziness of people. And yet I'm throwing myself on the Twitch where it's like, you know, the most weird convoluted thing ever where it's like, people think there's parasocial things and all this stuff. Best path would be trying collaborating game community, doing silly games. Oh yeah, that was a recommendation I had also gotten previously from my friend when I told him. His name is Solemn Sunday. He does his own streaming stuff on YouTube, but he's done a lot of different projects the last couple of years. First he wanted to do Twitch mostly for or streaming in general for his music, which I don't know if that's still a big thing he's doing. And then he started getting into gaming, and his biggest community thing is his extensive lore about the game Rain World, which um, I'd love to do with them again someday. But the last time I played, it was just atrocious, and the game was bugging and crashing on me, and I haven't touched it since. So yeah, like there's lots of friends and folks that I want to collaborate with, but at the same time, with my obscure streaming hours at the same time, I feel bad if I force them to collaborate with me. It's like, hey, we're doing it at this time. It's like time zones, and they're like, oh no. But yeah, streaming is still like a very big learning process for me for sure. And it's like I don't know if I'll be trying to collaborate with homies in the future or what the biggest plan is that for that for sure. Like there's certain games where it's like, oh, let's play this. I know the biggest thing for a long time was like Among Us and 5 million other things. Um, some games that I do like playing, though, give or take, outside of the solo player farming game of all things, is Final Fantasy 14. I did a couple hour stream of that yesterday, which was kind of nice. And then my friends have been trying to get me into the Isle, where even though it's the buggiest as hell a game, it makes us be stupid and silly because, we'll get fucking eaten as dinosaurs. Because the Isle's like that game that's been in like early access for like 8 years, and it's like a dinosaur game, and it's rough, but I'm just like, I'm just here. And I think, what's the word I'm thinking of? It's not like I don't feel unsafe. Not unsafe. What's the word I'm thinking of? I feel bad going out of my way to be like, hey, do you want to collaborate with me? Because most of them are not like streamers. Like I'm like one of the baby streamers in my group. Would you be interested in, yeah, watch a few small ones? I can mention you to them. Uh yeah, I think I would be interested. I could always definitely reach out to people. I know for sure like there's a couple people I want to ask from like Twitter followings and all that stuff that are like all super big into games right now. I think it's just the timing thing has always been my biggest thing because time zones or no one's in the same state or whatever it may be, country, continent, etc. But it's always one of those fun things where it's just like, I'm here, I'm vibing. If I'm just talking to myself, that's cool. If I'm talking with others, that's awesome too. I know that one of my friends who was talking about streaming, but I jumped into streaming first before them. Most of the fact that they have a really bad computer right now. I think they have Apple or something or whatever. But they're a real homie, and we were like, yes, if you ever start streaming, which is me talking to my friend, we're definitely gonna play some games together and fuck each other up. Because sometimes this is that's just what my most my collaborations with my close friends are. It's very much violence enhancing. With others though, I feel like a lot more touch and go for sure. Okay, let's stop looking at Google for a second. Let me actually finish what I was actually planning to do today. If I can. Yep, okay, cool. Let me just close it off real quick. Quit that, and let's go back to. Okay, perfect. That's good. I just want to double check just in case. Sometimes the stream's kind of weird. Okay. Oh shit! Summer's Love, episode 3, After School Panic. Let's go. I don't even know what day it is in my calendar, but it'll be fine. After School Panic. Ace, the popular new transfer student, invited me somewhere after school, so I took him up on the offer. Oh right, because he was like, "Hey, do you want to go with me somewhere after school?" Which sounds fucking shady. Eventually arrived at some sort of clubhouse. Clubhouse. I gave my school uniform a self-conscious look. Hey, should I have like dressed up for this or something? Nah, you're fine. Go on in and head to the back. With that, he hurries in. Not sure what else to do. I follow him, and what do I find but a music room? No way, you're in a band? Yeah, remember when everyone in the 2000s was excited about being in a band? I don't know why that was a big thing. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna be a band and we're gonna be so cool. Everyone's here. The strong but silent drummer, the scruffy looking bass player, the cute girl on the keyboard. Ace picks up the guitar and screams at me. Oh god, we love these stereotypes. Yep, and I want you to be our lead singer. Me? Oh no, Summer. This is wild. Will Summer accept the offer? Can she even sing? Find out next time on Summer's Love. Oh damn. Okay. Okay, so there is 4 episodes to this. I thought there was 3. They were just weirdly long. Nope. I guess they must have been like, we ran out of room in the text box in game. Don't worry about it. All right, perfect. I can't wait to know more about Summer's Love because the dramatic storytelling and everything, it tells me all that I need to know. All right. Oh god. Yep, call up the birds. Let's go. All right, hello chicken, wherever you may be. Oh, my tomatoes are done. Hell yeah. Let's pick these and then we could go see my wife as she has a request that she asked us last stream, which is basically just like, hey, if you bring like usually all the villagers will have different stuff, but basically she was just like, hey, if you have this tomato, I'll give you some seeds for it. I'm like, all right, cool, bet. Oh yeah, everything back then was so cringy. Remember when people were like, "Oh, the 2000s were amazing." It's like, I don't know. I still think it's funny that like there's always articles on the internet these days where it's like, "Oh, Gen Z talking about how cringy the millennials were back in the day." Being like, "Oh, like what we thought was a hot boy was like an emo kid with like scene kid hair and all that shit." It's like, "Okay, I get it." We had bad taste, but we all have bad taste when we were like children. And now these days, it's like, was it like K-pop bands? Is One Direction still a thing? You can tell how old I am. I have no idea if One Direction's still a thing. I don't think it's still a thing. I think they broke up. But the point being is that it's just the world is such a weird place and very different than it was like 20 years ago. And you could tell it's like with a classic, it's like was it really a classic? It's like when people say like Doom is the best thing ever. It's like, okay, sure. Sure there, homie. Uh I'll put 3 because I want to hold on to one and then give one to my friend. Oop. And let's see. Yep. Okay, cool. Oh wait, I should take a flower too. Oops, I didn't want to take all of them. Damn it. There we go. I'm doing my best, gamers. Only thing I loved back then was all the abridged films. Yeah, that is very true. Like I feel like isn't there some abridged series that have been going on for like a billion years? Like the ones I could think of, like if you think of like terrible YouTube shit, was like Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge by Little Kribo, and then Team Four Star or Five Star, I can't remember their name. Team Four Star that did what was it, Helsing Abridged and all that. There was just so many different abridged versions on the internet. It's like, okay, I get it. There's so many animes that the world is into. Oh, probably, give or take, more or less. That could be always the case, where it's like, oh yes, very similar in age. I will say it's so funny when, speaking of like age gap related things, is that people be like, oh yes, if you're a young streamer, hit me up, which is usually like for collaborations. Like they'll be like, oh, I want to make sure that I'm streaming with people my age, and their requirements are like, if you're like 25 or older, it's like, nah, I don't want to hang out with you. It's so silly. It's like, bruh, stop it. Stop it. Stop making me feel old. And then everyone's like, what are you talking about? Like, all streamers are like hella old. Why would we want to talk with young people? It's like, it's a weird world. Scary movies was a big thing. Oh, we don't talk about scary movies. It was so terrible. No, I'm not here to shop, homie. I mean, I should, but nah, I'm good. It's just so silly. It's just like, stop it. Why does the world have to be so cringy? I didn't know they did Dragon Ball Bridge, to be honest. I assumed that's where they first started originally, but yeah, I know there was Hellsing a bridge. There was Full Metal Alchemist a bridge, if I recall. What else? What else? Like there were so many different things out there at the time. It was just like this is too much. And sometimes I would be like, oh, I have like 20 episodes to catch up on because they like update like once every 10 years. And it was just a lot. Where the hell is my chicken? I lost my chicken somehow. Hello, chicken? Are you just in the grass? I'm pretty sure. Oh, there you are. You're over here by this fence. You just kind of blend in from far away. Jesus. All right. Thank you, Rice Cake. I must steal your now. Yep. Let's see. Take this egg back. Yeah, I will say it's kind of funny when you meet people in like different games, like multiplayer, for example, and they're like, "I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh fan," and it's like you could tell because their whole characteristic is that they are Yu-Gi-Moto. I'm like, I hate it, but love it at the same time. It's the dumbness in me where I'm just like, ah, yes, perfect. But oh yeah, definitely in sense when it comes to topics and ages and all that stuff, like you can tell where it comes from. Funny enough, I watched a movie with my friends yesterday. It's funny because we're all very similar in age, but I'm the oldest of the group, more or less, of like, the close homies. And it's so funny because they were like, we need to watch a movie. And they're like 2 years younger than me. I'm like, okay, what's the movie? And then it was A24's production of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's a very stupid movie, or I thought it was stupid. And at the end, I was like, I've laughed maybe once or twice at like, the stupid, cringy shit. Because the idea is like, rich 20 somethings, um, trying to figure out a murder mystery. Oh, homie, I don't need to give you the flower. I'm trying to pick up the one behind you. But okay, whatever. Um, it was just a rough movie where it's like you could tell the Gen Z culture and early just all of it. It's just like it wasn't millennial, but it was just that weird in between stage where I'm like, I feel like I don't connect with this whatsoever. It's so funny. Oh yeah, people can be picky assholes, but sometimes it be like that. Oop, there we go. But I forgot I was going with this whole thing. The movie made me realize like, oh, I think it might be my age where it makes me feel like I can't connect with certain things anymore because I'm just like I'm either super depressed or very tired. I'm just like damn, like this movie is so stupid that I would believe that some rich mofos would be dumb enough to do this. And it's so silly. Ages are usually a weird thing when it comes to like streaming. And I don't know if it's that thing where it's like they feel like, oh, I'm having a weird parasocial friendship or relationship with someone so much younger than them, because you know how like everyone on the internet is like worried about like, oh, being canceled because X, Y, and Z said I was a pedophile or whatever it may be the case. And I feel like those fears are still there for like a lot of people. But then at other times, it's just like people are just like, oh, I want to hang out with people that I get along with, or we have similar interests or talks or tastes. Or it's like, it's like that. It's like that very generational era thing that exists. And I know it exists because there's one time I went on a date. This was how many years ago are we talking about this now? If I recall, this was about 2015. Yeah, I was still in university. I was going to a specific club for a independent study project, and I had this guy friend that was like, we went on like 2 dates, but we're not that close regardless. But it's just kind of thing. I was like, hey, what's up? And we were just talking about things, and we've gone out like once or twice before, and he was making very much references to things that I have never watched, like movies and stuff like that. And you could tell, like, oh, there is a big, like, what do you might call it thing. My main thing now is learning to sing and fitness. Yeah, I feel like it varies from age groups, or you're just like, I'm gonna pick up a new hobby. I'm gonna do this today. For me, I feel like that's been my entire life, but I don't know if I'm just like a crazy person who's like, I have to learn all the different things in the world, or I'm just like, I'm bored already, so I'm gonna try something new. With streaming though, this was more of my getaway from all the hard things that were going on with my personal life back in. Move, please. I beg of you. I know this is GameCube controls and boxes, but for the love of God. They always annoy me because the fears is due to the trolls and liars. Oh yeah, no worries. I think that the second spelling of liar in my name, liar and liar, is the best correct way to spell it. Yes, if you're talking about like, people lying to you and all that shit, or in your back. Yeah, yeah, I've never been able to sing. That's definitely a thing for sure. But dig up this coin faster. Oh my god, it's been in the dirt for like 100 years. But okay, fine, I'll pet you, cat. It's what's the word I'm thinking of? Like speaking of trolls and liars, it's one of those things where it's like you could be like, I think it's also a personality type thing too. Like I have gotten to a point in my life where I don't care what people say or think about myself. Oh no, my little animal, he got knocked over. My little mascot. But oh my brain. Me trying to think and dig at the same time with one button is stupid. But it all comes to, if you want to do singing and fitness and all that stuff or learn how to sing, good on you. No. I feel like when it comes to the trolls and the liars, it's like, fuck them. I'll be honest, I'll say fuck them. It's just like there becomes a point in your life when you get old enough that where you could either care too much about what they think and say, I'll show you. And then there's other people where it's like, all right, and I feel like it varies from person to person, and I'm not going to say one is better than the other because, it's all about taking your own ways of life and living your. Ma'am, please, ma'am, I can't. I can't with this. Come on. Oh shit, my animals are outside. I'm going to be in trouble. They're going to be so sick. But, I'm trying to think here. Oh, I got a rumbly stomach. I'm hungry. Ah, let me just dig up this coin and then I'll go home. But I feel like who the world has to stop caring too much about what other people say. This I guess also relates to like either a generational thing or just how the world works with like social media and all this stuff. Like I know the craziest thing was like when social media started. Like everyone's like on Facebook or on Twitter or literally every other thing out there. Oh yeah, they're gonna get sick in the rain at this point. Ah no. But maybe more unhappy than sick. But like everyone was trying to become popular. It's like, oh, we didn't know what a viral video was until like YouTube came around. It was like, oh, we would have like the celebrity gossip or something like that. And then memes became a really big thing for sure. Sorry, cow, I'm coming. Oh, that cow's being slid across diagonally. Oh no. But it just, I feel like people will criticize or be a troll no matter what because sometimes they just want to bully people. Or sometimes they feel like they have to prove a point and be like, yeah, see, you're a terrible person, or you're bad at this and all this stuff. Oh, yeah, the world is very opposite these days. It's just, it's sucky. It's like, why? Why does this have to be a thing? Why can't we just all get along and vote and vibe and stuff? Oh, yeah, I love when the cows slide. My favorite is pushing the cows around. But uh, I forgot I was going with this. My story. uh, damn it. Wait, did I milk you today? You know, I feel like I didn't. Nope, I did. Damn it. Why do I keep forgetting that? Uh, yeah, this game is very glitchy. My favorite is you'll be like hanging out, and then it's just like, oh, they're sliding. It happens a lot with like if you run into people too or something like that. It's like, okay, that's cool, I guess. It's just why not? It's a bummer I can't like uh, brush the chickens. It's like, please, just let me do something cool. I feel like my topics have rambled on so much though, and I don't know where my whole shtick was going in the first place. Oop. Let's see. When can I? Oh, now I go get the milk. Okay, fine. I'll come get the milk from you, cow. Jeez, a sliding couch should be a feature instead of a glitch. Oh yeah, for sure. It's funny because it's like, why do you slide, cow? You shouldn't do that. But I feel like sliding is always a fun character thing, no matter what game you play. It's like, that's not supposed to happen. But we're doing it anyways. It's. I feel like when it comes to streaming or living life, I mean, the best advice I could ever give anyone is just, you know, fuck them. I mean, don't physically fuck them, but it's more the fact that you don't have to be stressed out and feel like you have to be number one or the coolest person out there or try to convince someone that your opinion is right or wrong or that what they're doing or saying or thinking is right or wrong. It's there's just some people where you might be able to convince them and then there's others that are just so stubborn or stuck in their ways where it's just it's a bummer. It's just like, damn. Oh no, this is the I already watched that episode. It's just it's sad. It's like I feel like we've gotten to a point where we either have to criticize or be telling people what's right or wrong or just I don't know, making the world feel bad. It's like what is the point in all of that? Oh yeah, this is the little Yeti. He just hangs out. We'll see him in like a couple seasons, give or take. All right, it's raining today, so I gotta feed my animals. Oh look, our watermelons are coming though. Let's go. Okay. Oh right, I have to give someone a fish. I should go get that right now, actually. Or I'll do that in a little bit. Hi, chicken. Oh, I was expecting an egg. I guess not. Okay, I'll come back later for you. I don't know. I feel like my stories are so all over the place. Yeah, worrying about other people do is futile. Just do what you want to do and what you think is right. Yeah, it's just sometimes you just gotta be kind and love yourself the most out of everyone out there. It's like, yes, you can love other people. Like, if you're like, oh, I have a girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, etc. Just whoever you have in your life that you love and care for. It's just you gotta sorry. You just have to just know that what you're doing is for the best of other people and the best for yourself. Oh, I gotta get this fish. I'll take that. There you go. Perfect. Actually, I should take all this stuff out because I'm gonna go sell all this today anyways. Oop. Um, there's a guy in town that comes by and he'll be like, "I'm selling stuff, or you could come sell your stuff to me." It's usually very helpful to make money. If you love your pillow, that's super valid as well. If you want to love your pillow, I can't say anything about it. I mean, people have married like their waifu on like a Game Boy Advance or Nintendo DS back in the day, so it can't be crazier than that. In the case of singing, it's your lifelong dream as a psychiatrist to learn it and get further. I feel like the psychiatrist, psychologist. I forget which is the correct term, but one of those. I don't know how getting fitter is gonna like help with your singing dream. The only reason I could think that would be the case if it was like what's the word I'm thinking of? Like if it was affecting certain organs like your lungs or something like that. Like, okay, sure. It's like getting healthier will actually help my body improve in your lung capacity being able to I don't know, expand or whatever the hell the word is I'm thinking of. But if they're just like, oh, if you want to be a singer, you have to get skinnier, like that's a fucked up advice. I will admit that 100%. I feel like the singing though, it's like, I don't know. I don't know enough about singing and vocalization practices or lessons and all that stuff to know how that works. But I'm just like, if you want to do it and it makes you happy, I mean, fuck it, go for it. Who's gonna tell you otherwise except for the chuckle fucks on the internet or friends and family that don't believe in you? If that's the case, it's like, well, fuck them. It's just like, you know, if you're happy, that's all you gotta be. That's the biggest thing when it comes to life. You want to make yourself happy, even if you have a long or short life, and short life being more in the case of accidents by death, like a car accident or something crazy. Oh yeah, it's a side thing because of mental issues. Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, I feel like mental issues are so, what's the word? Common? Not common. What's the word I'm thinking of? It's a big thing that I feel like compared to like 10 years ago, it's like it would have been just like thrown to the side and be like, "Oh, you're just like an insane person or something like that." But otherwise, it's just like I know for sure like I'm supposed to be losing weight because I put on a lot of weight during the pandemic. I've been just eating like nonstop like junk food. Having to be put on different medications for all the different medical problems I have. The biggest problem being that I have type 1 diabetes. I've had so for about 24, 25 years, more or less at this point in my life. And it's like one of those big scary things where they always tell you back in the day where they're like, oh, if you don't take care of yourself, your fucking feet are gonna fall off, which is very true, but it's not as true as it was like, 100 years ago when there was like not good medical practices. It's more the fact that they're like, hey, you have to be healthy if you want to live a long life. But with my depression, I'm like, do I want to live a long life? I'm not like Like I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna go jump off this cliff right now. I have thought like I will go jump into traffic, but it's been a long time since then. So it's kind of more of those things where it's just like there's so many different problems and people are complex and there's no rhyme or reason to hate every little thing about yourself because there are always good things about who you are as a person, being if it's like how you were influenced, whatever you do now, either if it's a job or you're in school or your parents supporting you or not supporting you. It's a lot. Is living a life worth it if you can't do what you want? I don't know. I don't know. That's one of those questions where I feel like it's hard to what's the word? I don't want to say it's hard to answer. I think it's like this question probably varies from person to person. Like if you're talking to someone who has been very upset for a very long time, or have very different emotional, behavioral, mental, physical, etc. Like let's say you were, I don't know, like you were just like, oh, I was a blonde instead of a brunette, for example. I can't think of any other better excuse. And you're like, but I really want blonde hair, but your hair is too dark, or your hair just looks ugly because the blonde doesn't match your skin complexion, or people think you look nice as a brunette, so why would you ever want to change yourself? It just varies. It's crazy. I'm getting tested for stuff that's been here for 12 to 14 years. Yeah. Yeah. Like medical stuff and living and life. I mean, it's a hot mess. And there are some days where I'm like, what's considered a long life? Because there are some people, like I know, where, like, from either family, friends, or relatives and all this stuff, and they'll be like, what's the word I'm thinking of? People be like, oh, they lived a long life and they lived to like 80 or 90. Like, that's a long time to be alive. And then there's just other people who are like, oh, I should talk to this man while I'm standing here and talking. Oh, I hate his teeth. It's awful. Stop talking to me. I want to buy. What do you even have? Oh, right. You don't have anything good, but I could sell stuff to you. I will do that. Yep. Wow. The fish are more than the milk. Okay. You cannot sell anymore. Oh, right, because he has only so many slots he can fill up. Yeah, I'll take 1400. Anything else? Yes. Oop. I lost my original train of thought, but I think the point being is that life is what you make it, and it feels like it's one of those things where you can't just. If we freak out about every little thing, we will never go anywhere in our lives. And I know that because I had anxiety over stupid things. And I always have anxiety about stupid things. Oh yeah, so much fish. I'm gonna get some more fish. I won't be able to get out to them today, but I'm just like, it's a good day for the fish. Like for example, when I started university, I had a massive anxiety over riding public transportation, and it was insane. Like I was afraid of missing the train whenever that came by the train station, and that happened frequently because you can only walk so far from high school or university to the train station. It's like down the hill and all that craziness. And I'm actually finding you through YouTube since there. So of the few, there are things that are keeping me from doing stupid. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes VTubing is like, well, first off, I don't have a camera currently with my new computer, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I feel more comfortable and I feel less of having to put on a performance with a camera on instead of being like, oh, I'm the cute VTuber, or I'm the one with my tits out and we're gonna do those hot tub streams, which I don't know if they still do those. Is that still a thing? I think it's still under like sexually explicit content or whatever. I feel like the only time my games would ever or my streams would ever be like sexually explicit if I'm playing like M-rated games, more or less, just something bizarre. But I don't know. I feel like we don't. It's there's too much time in the world to be like I'm gonna make 10 different personas for myself because I want people to like me. I think I even like through dating and friendships and so many different things in life. Like I feel like I don't feel like I've experienced a lot of life in my life, and it's because of my own fears relating to like anxiety over the stupid bus, the transit. It's taken me a long time to get used to being on planes, and it's not like the fear of we're gonna crash and die. It was more the fear of dealing with people and being in tiny cramped spaces, and there being like 500 like two bathrooms on that entire flight. Did they shove hot tub streams in? Yeah, I think they did shove it into their own category, which I don't understand how hot tub streams work. Like I've never watched them, but I'm just very confused. Like, wouldn't it be kind of boring to just be hanging out in a hot tub and doing just talking? Like I don't know. Maybe it's just the sex appeal. It's just very confusing. What you and others do show me what I could hopefully do if I don't give up. Oh yeah, like I feel like VTubing is or gaming in general. Like I feel like when I watch VTubers, first off, there's like three different things when I see VTubers. Crazy kooky kinds, the ones that are where everything is just drama in their communities, and then so many other things. But it's just like I don't know. A lot of my stuff is usually game related, but it's usually like I already like these people from various other platforms or company related stuff that they're like already involved of. Like there's who am I thinking of, for example? Or cosplays or whatever. Like there's so many different types, and then there's like the controversial ones where everyone's like, oh, a WoW player playing Final Fantasy 14, even though they say it's weeaboo shit. It's like okay, I guess I could watch it for like a couple minutes or whatever. But oh yeah, it's basically only fans on Twitch at this point. Although at that point, it's like why don't you just have OnlyFans? It's just so silly. It's a lot. And I feel like even with like Twitch's weird controversial takes on like, how to pay people, which I think is silly because with Twitch being owned by Amazon and doing their weird Amazon Prime partnerships and all that stuff, it's just like why they gotta make it so complicated for people to just make money when they're making their service like, you know, popular to use. Like I feel like compared to it's just so a lot. Idol and Guagura and such. I don't think I know which one it is. Is Gura the shark VTuber? Or is that something else? I might be reading into this completely wrong. Like when it comes to VTubing all these other people, I'm just like I can't keep track. I'm like I don't know who's popular or what. Like I feel like I see more smaller but still popular VTubers lately instead of like oh here's all these people from like Hololive or those 5 million other VTubing contracting companies, which I'm just like, okay. But it's just, it's a crazy time for sure. Um, at least with like VTubing and videos and everything in between, it's just like, what are we fighting for? We're fighting to be popular instead of being like, oh, we're gonna become an actor and become a celebrity or a musician or whatever it may be. It's just, yeah, it's a lot. Okay, that is the shark girl. Yeah. I know that my only exposure to them is like through like fan art I've seen on the line, basically. But it's just like, okay, I don't get it. And even for all these years, I'm still like, I don't get it. Like, why do you gotta make a personality to be like, oh, I'm the shark VTuber, rar? And I know it's crazy when you see like so many popular VTubers like being like, oh, I'm the fish or the jellyfish or whatever the hell they are out there these days. I honestly don't know. ILN is the company UK based. Got it. Okay. Got it. Like if I see anything from like popular VTubers, I'm just like, ah, here's like the clip, not the clips. Yeah, it's usually like TikTok clips. So it's like, oh, here's the silly shenanigans or something like that. Do I have enough? Where are my fish? Oh, I know. There we go. It's yeah, I don't know. Like if I don't feel like I am it's so funny. There's so much drama in the community and I don't understand why. Like why does everything gotta be a rivalry or people just shitting on each other in public? Like that's the whole point of um VTubing I've seen so far. Where it's like I've seen more ugly sides of it just through like random posts on Twitter or other things rather than like Twitch itself. I was just like, ah, here's another performance. Yeah, the anonymity and comfort is a big thing for sure. There is a local convention that just ended last month, if I recall, which was the VTuber. Oh, what was it called? And when I say local, I just mean within the state. I don't mean like I live like 2 miles away from it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna apply for convention stuff, and they're like, yeah, no, you don't sell VTuber merch, so you're out. I'm like, okay, that's cool. First VTuber I found was Rin. I don't think I know which one Rin is. Every time I think of Rin, I think of Vocaloid. So I'm like, that's not the right one. And I haven't listened to Vocaloids until like recently because it's like been popping up on my feed. I'm like, why? And I'm like, give me the old good shit. But yeah, I just wish people could just be friendly and nice to each other instead of playing this. We're gonna backstab everyone, and this is battle royale slash Hunger Games slash any other survival game out there to just hang out and watch the drama. None of the ones or groups I follow watch do drama. Oh yeah, I feel like it's either drama or people trying to make a point and be like, we're pointing out this drama because this person is a shitty person or X, Y, and Z. Like, there's always a reason. It's like, I get it. Like, you want to cancel people that are horrible. Sure. All right. Cool. Do your thing. But I feel like when you integrate yourself in only drama, it kind of just takes away from the whole point perspective. It's just like, we're all people. People say bad, shitty things. There's always going to be a bad, shitty person out there. Would there ever be people as bad as like um let's say Hitler, for example? Like, is there anyone ever gonna be bad as Hitler? I mean, there might be. We just don't know it yet. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like my Hitler one was a very bad example. Regardless, I'm just like here. Rin Penrose. I don't think I know who that is. I'm gonna look that up while I'm in between fishing real quick. Like it probably like I probably don't recognize the name, but I probably like recognize the design if anything. Rin Penrose. Uh, Kingdom of Another World. Oh yeah, I have seen them around before. Yeah, I think I've seen them like once or twice, but I never knew that was them because there's just so many people that do like all their remake models or their 500 debuts for the 20th time today. It's like stop it. It's just there's a lot out there. She's the one that made VTubing big and known here in the UK. Okay, got it. Okay. Oh shit, is this game out or did it just? Oh no, this is on sale. Got it. Steam's like, hey, this game you want is on sale. It's like, no, not stale, sale. But yeah, I feel like there's still hope for people to still be kind and nice. Like there are people out there where it's like you know how you take like a community or a fandom or something and it's like, "Oh, yes, this fandom is awful." But it's like only because the minority or majority, depending how you what group it is or whatever, is like there's shitties, there's toxic, there's drama, there's people that get upset about certain ships, or people do horrible things, or there's weird allegations. Like, I feel like there's too much information to keep track of. too, where it's just like, I can't just hope for the best and have to boycott every single person I see. It's a bummer too because there have been people um, where it's like, you know, they're a cool artist or a cool voice actor or they did X, Y, and Z really cool, and it's like, oh, they're a shitty person. Like they find out like many years later. It's like, what you gonna do about that? Oh, they're also YouTube focused. That's actually kind of cool though. I wonder if it's like YouTube streaming is bigger over there compared to Twitch streaming, because I feel like when I see a lot of UK based streamers, they are usually from a very specific region or a very niche audience, for sure. Oh, hello, cow. I gotta feed you and give you some. Oh, let me milk you. Milk, milk, milk. Let me, please. Milk. There we go. The milk is still garbage. What the hell? Ah, maybe one day my milk will be better with the. Oh, whoops. There we go. There you go. There you go. Don't get mad at me. I'm sorry, cow. I'm sorry. Why are you so upset with me? Oh, your health is garbage. What the fuck? Can I get you like cow medicine or something? Like, how do I make your health better? I'm sorry. Was it because I left you out in the rain for so long? Oh shit, my cow. It's really sad, gamers. Oh, you've been sitting on that egg all day. That's right. I forgot to come by and check on you. Oop, okay. Goodbye. Also, I'm embarrassed to say my VTubing avatar plan is kind of slime and dragon themed. You know what? There's nothing wrong with it. Oh yeah, I am totally accidentally animal abusing my animals. It's so fucked up. I'm sorry. I'm usually really good with my animals, but it is fucked up. My poor cow. Yeah, I feel like there's no problem with like slime or dragon themed stuff. I feel like the world needs more what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, not bad dragon. We aren't talking about bad dragon here. It's bad because I actually know what that is. Oh god. But yeah, I think it's just like one of those things where it's just like it just shows up. Oh, I forgot. It's like midnight. So I was like, why is it flipping? I'm scared. Let's see, does the TV change? Nope. Okay. I'll go to sleep. Hello, Poi, the homeless hermit man. I hope he's having a good day. They do have nice shirts and plushies. I love their shirts. The craziest thing is that I love their stickers too. But I'm also like, I don't want to pay $12 for shipping, which is atrocious. It's like there's stickers. It's like, can you just send me an envelope, please? Anything? Like, just it's ridiculous. But yeah, a funny story about Bad Dragon though. Uh, you get interested on the internet, you see things and all that stuff, and you're like, I think I'm gonna try getting something. And you know how they have everything like small, medium, large, and everything on there, and you're like, and then so I'm stupid, like I am just bad at math, and I was like, I'll get this one because I thought like, yeah, that should be fine, like whatever. And I should have done the math or gotten like, something so much smaller. And I was like, it's terrible. It's terrible. It was just so rough. I'm like, oh no, this ain't good. This is so bad in so many ways. It's like, surprise. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was trying to expand the chat box for a second on my end because I'm like, I made mine super tiny. It's like I only can see like two messages at a time for some reason. But yeah, it was what's the word I'm thinking? Oh, I can't pick these. What the hell? It wouldn't let me pick them before. Nice. Strawberries. Oop. B rank and B rank. Okay, that's fine. Perfect. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had that happen to me in regards to the shirt. I know I've had oh shit, I fucked this up. Uh I've had a friend put stickers on their water bottles, which I thought was amusing. And there was a couple of friends who were like, "Ayo," like there were some that they knew. It's like, ah, yes. I think that was also the fact that I think they were more into the kink community at the time. So it's like that thing is like, you see things on the internet and you just know. It's like, ah, yes, I see you are a appreciator in the fine arts of silicone or whatever you want to call it. It's just rough, but I love the shirts though. The clothes and everything is it's usually pretty good. I will say it was funny when they were like, "Oh yes, here's like our new line of everything plus some clothes." I'm like, "Bruh, like I get it, but why do you keep doing so much apparel? It's just wild." But you know what? At the same time, I feel like I shouldn't complain because that's just how the world be like these days. Oh yeah, it's great. But it's one of those things where it's like it's so like I don't know. Why does everything gotta be expensive? Even the simple pleasures of life. Yeah, that's right. I said pleasures. Cause that's just what it is. But yeah, I feel like there's just so much with these stories sometimes where it's just like, things happen. Life happens. It's just the craziness and the wackadoos. And sometimes we can't control it. Oh shit, I haven't been talking to my wife the last 2 days. Or my future wife. Actually, that reminds me. What is our friendship? Oh, she's at 3 hearts, 3 hearts, 0 hearts. Yeah. The affection hearts is basically like how you find out if they're like attracted to you and all that stuff. Yeah, life is expensive. It sucks. It's just like I just want to live. I want to play games. I think the worst part is that I was looking at some games. I was like, oh, I want to get this, this, and this, and it's like $300 in my cart, and I'm like, oh, I don't have that type of money right now, or at all. So I'm just like, I'm just here. I just want to vibe. I want to play my games. Like even when I first started streaming, like I was like, what games do I even play? Because all I had was like crap. That's like, you know, some games where it's like people I've never heard of, or like it was just bizarre in its own way. Yes, I got your vegetable. No, take. No, no, thank you. Ah, shit. That's right. I waited too long. I'm very upset. No, wait. I gave you the tomato. What am I doing here? Right, plant. Will you take this? It looks delicious. Damn it. Okay, I gotta get flour. I grew up with Asperger's, dyslexia, dyspraxia. I cannot understand being looked at or socializing to the point of blackouts, collapsing. So I'd love to do that. I'd love to do. Then I can't. Damn, that fucking sucks. Like it's like you know how there's like certain points in your life where you're like, I want to do this, and then your body's like, no, you can't do that. I feel like everyone has to goes at their own pace. There's no such thing as winning the race of life and just like, yeah, I need to get some stupid plants. I'm on a game break, but I start again in a month. I think that'll be fun. It'll be great. It'll be fantastic, dude. Uh, Steak. Oh, here we go. Aha! Ran back outside. Wait, did I put my cow outside? Yep, cow's outside, chicken's outside. Perfect. Yeah, I feel like there always becomes a point where it's like our bodies want to eternally shut down. It's just like, fuck that. We're tired. We're done for the today. Goodbye, world. It's just like you just crap out. Um, in some ways, it's just like, oh, time to go. Here's your flower, ma'am. You're in a minute. Too kind. Perfect. Love you. I love you, ma'am. That aside, did you want to purchase anything? Actually, I will purchase things because I actually have money. Um, girls quickly, girls quickly. I can't do strawberry seeds. It's gonna be over soon. Takes time to grow. Turnip grows. Okay, let me do. Let's do some tomatoes. Yeah, 300. God, I wish I could shut down for whenever. Oh, I know, right? Like, I feel like I shut down all the time in my own little brain. I'm just like, I'm done. I know that there have been times where I just want to shut people out. I'm just like, it'll be fine. It'll exist. My body will work one day again. No, actually, let me get some fertilizer while I'm here. But I feel like my shutting down is more like I have a fucking anxiety attack in the dumbest ways, or I just feel like wanting to vomit. Oh yeah, I feel like VTubing is one of those things where it's like it made people who are self-conscious about, for various different reasons. Like they're just like, I want to hang out, but it's like at the same time people want to have a face to look at and be like, oh, this is who this person is, or whatever may be the case. I guess. Really, oops, fertilizer. Be free, my fertilizer. Sprinkle. But where's my brain going with this answer? Oh yeah, I feel like VTubing has changed so much in the last. Mm, it's just changed streaming and things in general. If it didn't happen in public, shutting down would be nice. Oh yeah, for sure. Be just like, I'm just gonna lie on the floor here, or whatever it may be, or I'm just gonna ignore this entire conversation you're having with family or an argument. It's just like I'm just gonna lie here and no one can do a thing about it. Perfect. Oh, good. All my trees came in. Nice. Who am I? No one would like. Oh, who I am? No one would like. Got it. Got it. Okay. I was like reading that wrong. I'm like, oh no, that's not what I meant. It's like, I see. But you know what? Fuck the people. If they're like, I don't like you, it's like, well, too bad. I don't like myself either. What are you gonna do? You're gonna beat me at my own game? uh, I feel like people just. What's the word I'm thinking of? People just need to calm down. They gotta stop freaking out and just enjoy life and just enjoy being around people and be happy and just not put so much pressure on themselves to live life to the fullest. Or if they don't, then being, I don't know, sad or something. It's just like we gotta be better in so many ways. Oh, I really just sold $100 of eggs, huh? That's like nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like people just kind of what's the word? There's always the goods and the bads. Like I did the laying down one, the police took me to the hospital. Yeah, that's usually a big rough one in public for sure. It's like, oh, I gotta lay down. I feel like it depends on the social space too. Cause like if you're laying down in like uh a grocery store, people are gonna think you're dying. It's like, oh god, what happened? And then but for example, I would take like naps all the time on university campus. I'd be like, I'm gonna go upstairs, avoid all my friends and all that crazy shit. Yeah, brains are shitty things. It's like, why you gotta make me do this? I just want to exist, man. Please. It's like I just want to vibe. Let me just do that, please. Like, can't we just get along? I want to high five this scarecrow. Damn. How long has this scarecrow been watching over the fields? Doing a great job. That's for sure. He's a terrible looking scarecrow, by the way. He's just a little, little friend. I like his little mittens, though. Hey, that thing you gave me tastes terrible, but take time to improve quality. Just keep at it. Oh yeah, I gave him shitty milk. I forgot about that. He must have been like, "What the fuck is this?" I wish our brains were more kind. You know, it's just like I want to hang out. I just want to vibe. I was at public garage shop. Oh no, that's pretty rough. That's absolutely crazy. And hopefully you just showed up at the hospital and be like, I'm fine. I just have this thing. It's just like, please leave me be. But like, fuck, that sucks. Yeah, I'm done shopping. That's fine. That girl. I wish I knew how to get her up higher, but it's so hard. Hmm. I'll figure it out. That's why I gave her the daily fuck. Oh no, it's raining again. My animals. Fuck. I cycled the one time I cycled during blackout into a. Oh shit, that sucks. Damn, I hope you have some good health insurance for you to like cover for any accidents in public because that's kind of scary to think about. Like, you're fine one moment and then your brain's like, no, you're not fine. And then you just, all of that's just so scary and sad. Like, I hope you're doing okay, man. Like, homie, please. Hello, cow. Can I milk you? Nope, I already milked you. Okay, damn it. Why do I keep forgetting that? Okay, here's a say because I'll be back later. And more fertilizer. Oop, wrong button. E. Just to stop any drug accusations. That's understandable. Mostly when there's like so many places these days where it's like, surprise, I do drugs. It's like, not really, but okay. It's like, I'm just here. I'm just trying to live, boy. But I don't know. I feel like drug accusations and all that stuff is crazy because it's like I didn't know passing out was considered a drug overdose these days, but I'm just like hanging out. I don't know. I think the world's too, what's the word I'm looking for? We're too finicky to accuse someone of this and that, and then it's just like it's completely wrong. It's like, oh, what you gonna do about it, bitch? I gotta apologize? No, you gotta look away and turn head shoulders and be like, "Oops, sorry, my bad," instead of like really apologize. And you'll be like, "Oh, well, I thought this." It's like, bro, I gotta give a flower because, or try to, because I don't remember if I gave her a flower today. I just feel like life is so chaotic that it's like, even if we try to slow down or, flower, no, shit, flower. Here, ma'am, here you go. How nice. Oh, yeah, I did give her a flower already. Usually they don't take it again. Damn it. Okay. But, oh, hi, sir. That thing you gave me. Yep. Okay, I get it. The milk was bad. Settle down. I feel like I'm doing so bad on the save file. But at the same time, it's like the streaming file, so I'm just like, I'll be fine. What time is it actually? 3. Okay, got it. I'm doing okay. Staying alone stops it happening too much. Well, that's good at least. Nope, I don't want to watch that. Yeah, I can imagine that maybe there's some type of meds to either like. Yeah, I feel like medication is always those rough ones because if you're like young, for example, like in your, I don't know, 20s and 30s, or if it starts earlier in your life, whenever medication starts, of course, it kind of becomes a totally exhausting thing for some folks. Like it will become like, what's the word I'm thinking of? People turn it into a, oh, there's the old people. It turns into a very stressful situation. in the fact that it's like what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, it's like burnout. It's just very depressing. Blood but no permanent damage, just very damn confused when I came into the hospital. You know what? That's understandable. It's like you're just like confused and you're just like, "Hello? Where am I?" Yeah. That's very true. Oh man. But yeah, there's just burnout when it comes to medications, at least if it's like a condition you've had for, a period of your life. And sometimes you're just like, I don't want to take the medications. I just want to be a normal person. But I feel like there's no such thing as normal anymore compared to what everyone holds on to as the idea is normal. And it's wild and stupid. It's like, we can't say that this is normal when people are so fucked up because of how life has treated us or them or society's like idealistic ways of being like, oh, this is the perfect human species or the perfect uh way to live and stuff. It's just a lot in so many different ways. It's a lot. And I know that I'm getting so burnt out on my stream with the fact that we're 3 hours in and I feel like I'm just repeating myself over and over again. It's like a preacher trying to make a, a, a church listen to him so badly. All right. Well, here is the Summer's Love finale, episode 4, my major debut. Oh boy. Ace, the popular new transfer student, led me to a clubhouse where his band plays, and now he wants me to be the lead singer? I knew it. I knew it had to be you the moment we met. I mean, yeah, you've got an attitude, but your voice is 1 in a million. No, maybe 1 in a billion. With you as our lead singer, we could make our major debut. All of our dreams would come true. Please, Summer. He's so eager. He really believes in me. Well, come on. What do you say? Sorry, but I can't carry a tune to save my life. And I'm failing music class. What? The tension in the room could be cut with a knife. Can you at least try to sing for us? Okay, but I warned you. 10 minutes later, I'm outside of the clubhouse, alone. On the other side of the door, I could hear the band members arguing. What was that? Seriously, what was that? You should have heard her sing before you brought her here, Ace. Don't just pick up a girl at random. And that's that. My one chance at summer love, ruined in a single week. The end. Wow, wasn't that a beautiful ending to Summer's Love? The horrible drama from the early 2000s? Oh, absolute nightmare, this channel, I swear. It's so funny because it's just like one of those things where it's just like, surprise, here's the ending. You were so bad at singing that they decided to not put you in the band. It's like, was she really looking for love though? That's the funniest thing. It's like, girl, I think you were just dragged into it with no idea of what was really going on. I rate this drama sucks ass out of 10. Oh yeah, it's pretty bad. It's like amazingly stupid. Oh yeah, it's too little drama for a drama channel. Where they're like, oh, here's the entertainment channel. It's like, bruh. Oh, please let me pick up the Swede. Thank you. It is very silly though. It's just like, why is it like this? But hey, maybe the next one will be just as exciting. Oh, hi, Cal. Hi, Mochi. Milk. Milk. There we go. Perfect. What's today? Thursday or Friday? Oh, God, it's Thursday. Shit. Okay. Uh, oh, she has 4 hearts. Nice. I wish I could give her milk, but no. She's like, I'm fine. She don't want my shitty, low quality tier milk. She's like, I want the leaves and flowers you pick up. It's like, thanks, ma'am. I feel like this is probably one of the hardest runs of a Harvest Moon game I've ever had because, like, usually you can just sell whatever quality milk you have, and it's just like, okay, be done with it. But for some reason, they really just said, no, you have to sell B, A, or S tier milk, and they're like, ah, surprise. Hey, good morning. The soil around here drains water quickly pretty well, so we don't have to worry about other crops spoiling in the rain. Well, that's cool. I assume that's also because you live on a hill, but I'm not gonna judge you for that. Okay. Ah, hello, ma'am. Hello, wife. Hi there, Lyre. Isn't it a wonderful morning? Let's make the most of it. Oh, why, that's so delightful. How lucky you are. It's all yours, ma'am. You really mean it? You're too kind, Lyre. I'll take very good care of it. There you go. Just shove it into your pocket. Rain puts all the crops in good mood, and when they're happy, I'm happy too. I'm good. Glad. My favorite part is her little fluffy hairstyle bang that's like coming out like her big cowlick. Like before the accursed Hetalia came out, that was like my favorite thing to draw on characters. And then I kept drawing it more after Hetalia came out. It's like, oh, this is cool. But it was rough. Do I plan on making a full avatar down the line? Yes, I do plan on having a full avatar. There's actually a artist I was talking to. It's crazy though because I want to pay them so much more for what they're offering. I actually found them on TikTok, and they were like this whole thing where they are an artist who's never done commissions before, but I like their art enough. So I'm like, I get it. But they were like, oh yeah, I did like a whole VTuber for a person, like a full body VTuber, and rigging included with the art. And she's like, I did it for $10. I'm like, girl, let me pay you more than that. And thankfully, she's raised her prices a little bit, but not a lot. That I'm like, this is actually affordable. But I just feel so bad. I'm like, girl, let me pay you, let me pay you so much more. So currently they have a wait list, but I we plan to talk again at the end of August, beginning of September, because I said they were like, I should be open and ready for you to take your commission, but um, I just said if you have other people that want to pay, I could wait for longer because I'm not in any big rush, of course. But at the same time, I was like, I need to pay this woman more. Yeah, yeah. It was like she has very cute art. Like I liked the first VTuber she did, and then even when we talked about the price of the one when I talked to her like last week, basically, I was like, I don't know if the details are gonna be too much and all this stuff because you're still starting off. And she's like, yeah, I'll do like 90. I'll do it for like 80, $90. And I'm like, oh my God, you're killing me here. Mostly when there's people out there for like they're doing it for thousands of dollars and stuff like that. Yeah, it's crazy. I was just shocked and surprised. I was like, "Oh my gosh." But at the same time, I'm like, if PayPal lets me, like if she doesn't send me an invoice because I think she still doesn't know how that works, I'll be like, "Here's an extra tip because I believe that your art was worth a lot more." Like there were people in the comments being like, "Why are you charging for so low?" It's like, "Why did you for $10?" She's like, "I'm still figuring it out." I'm like, girl, like please. Like the original answer I would have given a couple weeks ago if I had not found this very under appreciated artist would have been a hot second. Like it would take me a very long time to find a full body VTuber because one, there's like people that have like their commissions bought out immediately, and also the cost is so expensive. And with my current financial situation, I'm like, I need food more than like a VTuber right now because I'm not like making money as a VTuber. So it's like, why would I pay for that? Oh shit! I gotta talk to my little friends up here on the hill. I forgot I have to get recipes from them. But yeah, the average is usually thousands if you're doing both rigging and the artwork, of course. There's others I've seen where they're doing like $700, $800, but then it's like the rigging's like another $400, so it's like 1,200 regardless. So it's like it's still a lot. It's ridiculous. And even just trying to find someone, it's like, oh, I'll just do the art and then I'll save up and then find a rigger separately. It's like, you're still costing yourself a pretty penny, which it's like, good for you if you're like supporting the local artists and all this stuff. But I'm just like, fuck, girl. But she's super sweet. She's super kind. I definitely want to talk about her more when we do finish the that full body commission. Whenever I pay her for that stuff, and she starts it because I'm just like she. It seems like she's still working on her commission stuff, but I also don't want to be like, hey, just a heads up. I feel like you should put more examples of your art on the internet too, because it feels like you need that. Not like the exposure, but just like, kind of explain or expand on your styles. Like she said, like she could take up art for illustrations. There was the VTuber stuff. There was also like her working on like Twitch overlays and scenes and all this stuff, and just like all those different like assets basically for like streaming in general. And I'm just like, this is so undercharged. And I was very shocked and surprised when I saw like she was still charging for so little. And I felt like, I'm gonna pay you more because I feel like you deserve it, and not because like I just want to cheap you out and be like, oh yeah, I'll buy it because it's super cheap. I feel like if anything, I would still use a lot of the VTubers I have been using so far. So like the Pixel one I'm using now, I bought from a Pixel VTuber off of VGen, which is like the VTuber commission website that they opened recently, and I love it so much because I'm a pixel art enthusiast, but I'm really bad at it myself. Funny enough, and it's one of those cases where it's like you want to support the locals, but you also don't want to just be like, oh, I'm gonna throw my old stuff into the trash and never use it again. Like I feel like I would still use this for sure. Yeah, I would hope that she realizes her worth soon. Like I'd be like okay if she was like, oh yeah, I want to charge more since the last time we talked. I'd be like, all right, that's fine. If it's like thousands of dollars though, I'll be like, I have to come back to you on that, just because that money thing is really tight right now. And it's such a bummer because it's not like what's the word? When you love art and you just want to support the people, but then it's like everything's expensive. You have a nice personality, to be honest. Those would take advantage. Maybe, maybe. I mean, anything can happen. Like there is times where I could be nice, and then there's also times where I have to be mean and honest and cruel and be like, listen, you can't just say shit like that, or you can't do this or that. It's just like I don't want to be mean, but sometimes it just I don't know. It's like you stay nice for too long, and then like bad things happen, or it's just that one final straw of like you can't handle that shit anymore, and then everything comes out. It's like it's worse that way. Nugget, what are you doing? Where are you barking at? It's a bear question. Yeah, that is my sister's dog. Her name is Nugget. She is a what are you? 2? Yeah, she's 2 years old, and she's a little goblin. But usually my yeah, like chicken nugget. Yeah, very much a nugget. Um, but I like to call her corn dog right now because she's a little round, like a corn dog in her own little ways. But she is a corgi that my sister was originally trying to train into a service animal for her for her depression, and then she just turned out to be a dog because training was too hard, and we didn't have the time to like be like, oh, we're gonna spend thousands of dollars for training or all the other craziness. So it's just like, Nugget's just a calm, relaxed little boy, girl dog. I think it's a girl, yeah. But she's a nice dog. It's taken me a long time to get around because for mild context, I'm not really a dog person. Like, I don't want to say I hate dogs. It's just that thing where it's just like, dogs kind of just freaked me out for a long time. Just like, scary aspects and all this stuff. And you also hear all those crazy stories of like people getting attacked or mauled by dogs and all that craziness. It's just like, oh God. But Nugget being when she got first picked up, she uh was very small that she was like the size of like a slipper beforehand, maybe even smaller than a slipper. And it's just like, oh, there's nothing to be scared of this weird little dog. Although it did bite really hard because they got those sharp canines at first. It's like, oh no, why do you exist like this? My everything hurts. That's just silly. Oh, sorry. I guess you're not ready to be milked. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I've gotten used to the dog. Although there are some days where I'm just like, I don't want the dog, but I can't help it. Because, the dog is family, and what we gotta do is say, no, no, dog, you can't be family. Get tossed away into the abyss, for all I know. Our stories about dog attacking humans because their owners are very bad at handling or teaching dogs. Oh, yeah, very much so. Most of the time, I think it is because of that case. Um, it even took me a long time to like try to get along with the dog because I was afraid for those particular reasons as well. Like we weren't like my sister wasn't the best trainer with the dog. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like it kind of stresses you out. It's like, oh no, what's gonna happen today? Like, is it gonna be freak me out or something like that? Yeah, there's some breeds where it feels like that for sure. Like, ah, yes, it'll be fine. But then there are other times where it's like it can always be that one exception. It's like, oh, this dog's scary. Hey, dog, how's it going? No, kid. You spread some fertilizer, let it grow for a while, grass will start growing. Any grass you cut from pasture? Yep, that's fine. But keep in mind, if you cut all the grass, you'll have to fertilize it from scratch. That said, you might not want to go cutting it all down. Use your resources. Thanks, dude. Well, I know that there's grass, so because I've been making grass. Ooh. The only thing I don't remember is if the grass all dies if when it's winter. I think it does. So I'll just have to remember to cut all the grass during that time frame for sure. Ah. But yeah, it's a wild time for sure with like animals and people and all that wildness. It's just like, let me just enjoy life. Oh, this is nope, that's all I wanted. Let's. Yeah, most are pit bulls or mongrels. I don't know if that's how you spell mongrels, but I don't know either, so it's okay. Hey, Lyre. Oh, one more cutscene, and then we will probably end it here for today. Oh, I know what this is. Okay. Hey, back off, Jack. It's mine. No, you said you didn't need to ace. Sheesh, these two have been at it for a while now. I don't know what to do. We've got to stop them somehow. Yeah, well, I was the one who found it. Finders keepers. But you said you didn't need it, so you gave it to me. Oh yeah, I think they're supposed to be what are they? Nature sprites, as if they call them. Only because I didn't know I found a blue feather. All right, you two, enough. And these dudes live in the little mushroom house and all that stuff. They're just like they think you're a nature sprite too, but they're just like, oh, new person. That's weird. If you give a blue feather to someone you love, something wonderful is supposed to happen. My favorite pets are salamanders. Salamanders are cool, but I don't know if I can handle feeding them like little bugs and stuff. Like that kind of freaks me out. But it won't ever happen if you two keep it for yourselves. I'm gonna give it to Lyre. Oh yeah, this is how you usually get the proposal item in the game. In other places you have to buy it, but it usually varies. I'll put it in the box at the front of their house so they don't lose it. Ah, come on. Yeah, if I don't know spelling, I just YOLO. Understandable. It's always time to just YOLO the spelling on things. It gets pretty bad. Okie dokie, all set. If I'm like trying to spell something in Google, it's like, did you mean this? Because you're way off. I'm like, ah, I see. Hey, Lyre, do you get to be the person you love all the time? No, I don't. I love them so much. I love all the women in this game. You don't? That's so sad. Three of us are always together. That's what makes us so happy. I want to spread the joy by giving you that blue feather. Yeah, me too. Oh, now you're a green little guy? Okay. It's so silly. Oh, and me. I gave it first. Nuh-uh, I did. Would you two knock it off already? Oh yeah, these elves are so obnoxious 90% of the time. It's so bad. Eat those elves. Hey kid, I was checking around the front of your house and noticed a blue feather lying around there. Those are awfully rare. Where the heck did you manage to snag one? And you're like, what do you mean? Back in the old days, folks would give a blue feather to the person they loved to propose marriage. According to the folk tales, if you propose with one of those things, you'll be happy for the rest of your life. I've seen them sold in the city, but they cost a fortune. To think you'd find one in Forgotten Valley. Lady Luck's looking out for you, kid. Yeah, Lady Luck wants me to get married, that's for sure. Lady Luck's like, get the fuck married or you're gonna be in big trouble. Alright, and that is going to be the end for today's stream. Oop, there we go. Right, journal. Yeah. I feel like we did some good progress today. We started from day 4 and went to summer 1. And even though it feels like it was like 6 days, but over almost 3.5 hours, like that's a long ass time. Like this is one of those games where it's very much like Stardew Valley or any farming game, for example, where you will spend so many hours in a game and you'll be grinding and doing all your work and everything and farming and trying to woo people. It just is like, oh, there goes half my day and I did like 5 or a couple days. It's like it's crazy. Um, I will probably be back tomorrow with some different content. I don't know if I will do more of a another game tomorrow or if it's just gonna be an art stream. It might be an art stream, depending how I'm feeling because I've just like exhausted these last couple days, but it's not from like gaming, of course. No, it's just been like me just feeling like I haven't been sleeping well and all that craziness. But that's just a whole thing all together on its own. It's just like I'm just existing in the void. I hope that everyone's been having a fantastic Thursday or Friday um, for themselves, and I hope to see you guys all next time. Bye, everyone.